A very pleasant good evening to everybody here at Brent Brown Ballpark on the campus of Utah Valley University here in Orem, Utah. It's the home opener for the Utah Valley University Wolverines. Tonight they are home for the Portland Pilots coming out of the West Coast Conference. The second time this week that Utah Valley will face a team out of the West Coast Conference, dropping that decision the other night over at Miller Park over East, taking on BYU. Ready to go for what is a picture-perfect night. It is starting to cool off quite a bit here at the ballpark, though, as the sun begins to come down as we get set. Let's give you the starting lineups first tonight for the visiting Portland Pilots, who come in with an 8-4 overall record. Leading off in right field will be number 1, Jason Rosen. Batting in the 2 spot will be the first baseman, Eric Sapp. Caleb Whalen, the center fielder, will hit in the 3 spot. Behind the plate and hitting 4th tonight will be Cooper Hummel. Ryan Barr will DH and hit 5th. Cody Hawken in left field hit 6th. Kevin Farley, the second baseman, will hit 7th. Batting 8th, it's going to be Matt Kelly, the third baseman. Michael Forgione, the shortstop, will bat 9th. And on the mound for Portland will be the right-hander Jordan Wilcox, with a 2-0 record with an ERA of 2.87, making his 3rd start of the season. Pitching today for Utah Valley is going to be the left-hander. It's going to be Jackson Kofer. Kofer will make his 4th start of the year for the Wolverines, coming in with a 3.86 ERA, a 1-2 record, 16 1/3 innings pitched so far, has allowed 18 hits, 10 runs, 7 which have been earned, 3 walks and 11 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .295 off of him. Kofer earlier in the season was on the hill in that game for Utah Valley when they beat the number 5, 5th ranked Oregon State Beavers down in Surprise to open up the second game of the season down there. Kofer also pitched 7 innings against UC Davis. Allowed 3 hits, 1 run, which was not earned, 1 walk, and 7 strikeouts. And then pitched last against Washington State up in Pullman, went 4 1/3, but gave up 7 runs, 5 of which were earned. First pitch to Rosen's going to be swung on and grounded right to second. There and ready to make the play is Trevor Howell, and quickly 1 pitch and 1 away here in the first for the Portland Pilots. Let's go ahead and set the defense here for Utah Valley. Craig Brinkerhoff will be in left field. Mark Kruger will be in center. And right will be Ryan Edmondson. Over at third will be Jeff Ahrens. Grayson Bogdan at shortstop. Trevor Howell at second. Spencer Gothberg over at first. Jake Atkinson will be behind the plate tonight. And Jackson Kofer, the left-hander, will wind and deliver his first pitch to Sapp, which is in there on the inside corner for a called ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Sapp hits from the left side of the plate, stands in. Playing way in on the grass is Ahrens at third. 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be right in on the corner for a called strike. And the count evens now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Great to be with everybody here on WolverineGreen.com. Portland and Utah Valley just underway a couple of minutes early here tonight from Brent Brown Ballpark. Not a cloud in the sky as the sun begins to set. That pitch swung on by Sapp, and that one's going to be lined foul. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Portland will go Jason Rosen, Eric Sapp, Caleb Whalen, Cooper Hummel, Ryan Barr, Cody Hawken, Kevin Farley, Matt Kelly, and then Michael Forgione hits in the 9 spot. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Kofer ready to work. Jake Atkinson behind home plate gets the sign and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball right on the outside corner, but just misses a little bit outside. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sapp stands back in the box, and he's ready to go once again. The shift a little bit on here with Bogdan playing up the middle. The 2-2 pitch, a little bit high, ball 3, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Eric Sapp. Sapp hitting 167 on the year. 5 for his first 30, making his 10th start of the season for the Pilots. The 3-2 pitch, this one comes in. That one's grounded right back with the middle. Bogdan makes the diving attempt but couldn't come up with it, and Sapp is aboard, and the Portland Pilots have their first base runner of the night. A hard hit ball just right back up the box there, and Bogdan makes a great diving attempt at it but just couldn't quite come up with it. So with 1 down, that's going to bring up center fielder Caleb Whalen. Whalen hitting .419 on the season, 8 doubles, and he does have 2 home runs. Stands in hitting in that 3 spot for the Portland Pilots. Infield up the middle, pretty much a double play depth. Bogdan playing a little bit further in that hole to the left side. Kofer takes a look at first. He'll throw over, and he really should be careful. This is a Portland team that does love to steal bases. Eric Sapp over at first is 8 for 9. Whalen at the plate is 4 for 4. Cody Hawken has 4 stolen bases on the year. They're 7, and then Forgione is 7 for 8 on the season. So a lot of running probably going to happen in the series here. That one on the inside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-1 at 81 miles an hour from Jackson Kofer. Portland coming off of taking 3 of 4 from UC Riverside up in Portland. They had back-to-back home series in Portland. Was supposed to play out of the WAC Seattle earlier in the week, but that one got postponed. Pickoff moving back once again is Sapp. Cooper Hummel in the on-deck circle for the Pilots. No score, top of the first inning. Pilots getting the one-out single from Eric Sapp, and he's over at first base. Kruger in center, a little bit shaded towards left field. The 0-1 pitch, Sapp's going. Here's the throw from Atkinson, but it's going to be not in time as Sapp's able to slide underneath the tag, and a stolen base here in the early going for Eric Sapp. That would be his 9th stolen base of the season, and Portland with the early runner in scoring position. For Whalen. Whalen on the season, 11 RBIs to go along with those 2 home runs. Bogdan now will move very deep in the hole there at short. That one right on the outside corner, called strike, and it's 1-2. Whalen will take a look down to the third base coach's box. Get some instruction from Jake Valentine over there, as Trey Watt will be over at first base for the Pilots tonight in the coaching box. Kofer takes a look out at second. Now will come set on the hill. This one comes in, swung on and missed. Strike 3. It's going to get away, so Atkinson will have to make the throw to first, which he does for the second out of the inning. So a K2-3 in the scorebook at home, and Sapp has to hold at second. Atkinson took a quick look down to make sure Sapp wasn't going to third, but then once he saw that Sapp was staying close to second, took the throw down to first, and that's going to bring up Cooper Hummel, the catcher. Hummel will hit from both sides of the plate. He's a switch hitter, as he'll stand in here against the left-handed pitching Kofer from the right side. Hummel, a junior out of Lake Oswego, Oregon, just a few minutes south of Portland. Played his high school at Lake Ridge High School. Kofer comes home, Sapp with a big lead, but now he'll retreat back because that one misses away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Trevor Howell playing a little bit more up the middle to try to keep, I think, Sapp close, and just with that shift on. There's still a big hole, though, which allows Sapp to maybe get a little bit further of a lead than you would typically see out there at second base. The 1-0 pitch. Here's a pickoff move back. They throw, but Sapp's back in underneath the tag safely. Howell was able to get there pretty quick. Kofer, a nice quick turn and the throw to second, but just wasn't able to quite get him back there in the nick of time. 2 outs for Cooper Hummel. 1-0 count on the cleanup hitter for the Portland Pilots, wearing their gray tops and gray pants that say, I believe, Portland across the chest. And purple numbers. The 1-0 pitch. That one misses low for a ball. Now Sapp's going to be caught out in no man's land. He makes the turn, goes to third. The throw is going to be not in time. They're going to say Aarons didn't get the tag down in time. Sapp made his first turn back to second base and then stopped and then quickly just jetted for third, put his head down. The throw beat him, but I guess they're going to say Aarons didn't get the tag. Quickly out of the dugout comes head coach Eric Madsen wanting an explanation. It was a bang-bang play at third, but I don't think, boy, from my vantage point, it looked like they got the tag on him, but I'm a lot further away than that third base umpire is. Eric Madsen not happy as the home plate umpire will take a few steps out towards third right now, as Eric Madsen still kind of talking with the third base umpire. Now it looks like we'll get back to baseball. So very much one of those plays you would like to have seen slowed down on replay just to see, but nonetheless, Eric Sapp very lucky to be standing out on third base here for Portland. So 2 outs, Sapp down to third base, and Cooper Hummel will be at the dish. He'll have a favorable 2-0 hitters count. Kofer will work here from the stretch. Infield kind of goes back to somewhat normal depth, still with that shift on. The 2-0 pitch comes in. That's right in with the fastball, 84 miles an hour for a called strike. And it's no balls and 2 strikes to count on Cooper Hummel. Top of the first, no score. Portland and Utah Valley University, first of what will be a 4-game series. There's a bouncing ball hit to second. Fielded cleanly. The throw to first is going to be in time by Trevor Howell, and the side is retired. So Portland gets no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. We've played a half an inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 0 and Utah Valley coming up. You're watching Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the first inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley coming up for their first time here at home of the 2016 home season. Let's give you the starting lineup announced by head coach Eric Madsen. Leading off will be the shortstop Grayson Bogdan. Batting second, the designated hitter Zach Willis. Mark Kruger, the center fielder, hits in the 3 spot. Batting fourth will be the first baseman, number 5, Spencer Gothberg. Craig Brinkerhoff in left field will hit in the 5 spot. Ryan Edmondson, the right fielder, bats 6th. Jake Atkinson will hit 7th. Trevor Howell 8th. And Jeff Aarons rounds out the order and bats 9th. Tonight, the Utah Valley Wolverines will face Jordan Wilcox, a senior from Long Beach, California. Started his college career at LIU Brooklyn before coming here to the University of Portland. Wilcox on the season's 2-0 with a 15 and 2/3 innings pitched. He has a 2.87 ERA, 15 hits, 6 runs, 5 which have been earned, 2 walks to 19 strikeouts. So he doesn't give up a lot of walks, as he'll wind and deliver the first pitch to Grayson Bogdan, which is inside for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Defensively, it will be Cody Hawken in left. It'll be Whalen in center field. In right field, it's as they come home with the 1-0 pitch. That one in there at the knees for a called strike, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. The right fielder, Jason Rosen. On the infield, Matt Kelly at third, Michael Forgione at short. At second base, it will be Kevin Farley. At first base, it will be Eric Sapp. And that one in there on the outside corner, called strike. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cooper Hummel will catch tonight, and Jordan Wilcox will be on the mound. So a 1 ball, 2 strike count here on Grayson Bogdan. Wilcox ready to go, looks in and winds and delivers. This one comes in. That ball's going to be grounded deep in the hole at short. Forgione's there. His throw across the diamond in time for the first out of the bottom of the first inning. So a routine ground ball for Forgione, and he makes the good throw across the diamond, and the home season's underway, as that will bring up the designated hitter, Zach Willis. Willis, a junior from Linden, Utah, played at American Fork High School. Will stand in here from the right side of the plate to try to get things going. He's 13 for his first 35 of the season, hitting .371. Has had a good start to the top of the lineup for Utah Valley. Pitch comes in, misses low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes tonight. Umpires for tonight's game: Jeff Clough behind the plate, Pancho Flores at first, Lyle Mangum, the third base umpire. Ready to go on the mound, Wilcox kicks and delivers. That pitch right on the outside corner for a called strike. And the count evens now, 1 ball and 1 strike here on Zach Willis. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Whalen shaded a little bit more to right. Rosen in right field playing pretty shallow. That one in the dirt for a ball, and it's stopped behind home plate, and it goes to 2 balls and a strike. The count here on Zach Willis. Utah Valley going Bogdan, Willis, Kruger, Gothberg, Brinkerhoff, Edmondson, Atkinson, Howell, and Aarons. 1 through 9 tonight. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Time called as Willis will take a step out of the box. Good to be home here. The sun's gone down. The lights coming on here for this first of 4 against the Portland Pilots. Swung on and missed. Strike 2 as a big cut there by Willis, but he came up empty. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now it looks like Jordan Wilcox wants a new baseball thrown out there. They'll toss that one back over to the Utah Valley dugout. Wilcox working from the windup as he gets set for the 2-2 pitch. Comes home, breaking ball, misses high, ball 3. Count moves 3-2 now on Willis. So Utah Valley the other night against BYU swinging at a lot of first pitches. Really chased that first pitch fastball, and they got quite a few of them. Just hit them right at people. On its way, the 3-2 pitch. That one grounded right to Forgione, and that one's going to go off his glove and kick into left field for a base hit for Willis. We'll see, and that's going to go down as an E6 against Forgione. As again, another routine ground ball. I don't know if that maybe caught something in the dirt and just kicked right up, but Forgione was right there for looked like to be a routine ground ball, and he just didn't quite come up with it. So Willis reaches on the E6. Utah Valley, their first home base runner of the season, as Mark Kruger will come to the plate. Kruger has played right field, first base, and designated hitter throughout his Utah Valley career. And now he's made the move out to center field as Whalen very aware in center field for Portland about his power to the gap. That ball's going to be hit pretty well to center. Whalen's coming on. It's going to fall for a base hit. Willis going to make the turn. He'll head to third, and Utah Valley are with runners on the corners, and they have their first hit of the night as Mark Kruger comes through with a single. Whalen was playing deep out into right center field and then had to make this long run, and when he tried to come up with the catch, he just ran out of real estate before the ball fell. So with 1 out, it's going to bring up Spencer Gothberg. Gothberg had been kind of in a little bit of a slump heading into that game on Tuesday night against BYU, but he had 1 of the 4 hits for Utah Valley as the senior first baseman's 12 for his first 48. No home runs and 4 RBIs for Gothberg. Up the middle, double play depth for Fartley and Forgione. Pitch comes in. That pitch missed a little bit outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Gothberg. No score, bottom of the first inning. Zach Willis running over at third for Utah Valley. Mark Kruger running at first. Big hole on right field with Sapp holding on Kruger. The 1-0 pitch comes home. That pitch swung on, popped high up. This is going to be on the infield, playable for Sapp at first. He gets there, makes the play for the second out of the inning. So with 2 outs, it brings up left fielder Craig Brinkerhoff. As now Cooper Hummel will give some signs out defensively, kind of give some instructions as to what needs to happen here for his team here. Especially with runners on first and third with 2 outs. You would think sometimes there might be a chance Eric Madsen might consider sending Mark Kruger. Kruger 0 for 1 those stolen bases this year. That pitch is going to be right in there at the knees for a called strike to Brinkerhoff, 0-1. Brinkerhoff looks down, gets the sign from Eric Madsen in the third base coaching box. Jordan Wilcox has been tough this year with runners in scoring position. Opponents hitting less than 200 against him. The 0-1 pitch coming in. That one swung on, grounded up the middle. Going to be a long run. Forgione won't get there. RBI single for Brinkerhoff. Kruger makes the turn. He'll go to third. And Utah Valley's on the board here in the first. An RBI single by Craig Brinkerhoff. It's 1-0 Wolverines. That outfield playing a little more deeper, and right there, once again, a long run for Whalen and Hawken, and Kruger just immediately took the turn and was able to get there as Ryan Edmondson will come to the plate. Edmondson hitting .207 on the season. One of the new Wolverines, a freshman out of Chandler, Arizona, and Perry High School. Runners on the corners with 2 outs. Wilcox comes home with the pitch. That one swung on and hit hard and foul, but count will move to no balls on a strike. A good way to start the home season, an RBI single by Craig Brinkerhoff, giving Utah Valley a 1-0 lead. Big hole off in right center field as Whalen is shading more towards left center field. A lot of outfield here to cover at Brent Brown Ballpark. Edmondson takes a big cut and comes up empty, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to count. Wilcox will not coming off that mound. He is staying right put, right in between pitches, just staying right there. Ready to go, the 0-2 pitch. That one inside. Edmondson twisting out of the way, but missed him for a ball, and it's 1-2. Utah Valley coming in with a 7-7 record after that loss the other night over at BYU. There's no, real standings necessarily right now in the WAC because there's no conference games that have really been played. So a lot of it just goes on overall record. That's kind of right in the middle of the road in that 4 or 5 spot. Right on, called strike 3 on the outside corner. Froze Edmondson, strike 3, and the inning is over. Utah Valley, though, they get 1 on 2 hits, and at the end of 1, it's Utah Valley 1, Portland 0. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the second inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, beginning Portland coming up to begin the top of the second inning. They'll send up 5, 6, and 7. It will be Ryan Baer, Cody Hawken, and Kevin Farley coming up against the left-hander Jackson Kofer, who will begin his second inning of work. Gave up the 1 hit, but got the 1 strikeout, and most importantly, kept Portland off the scoreboard in the top of the first. Here's the designated hitter, Ryan Barr. Kofer winds and delivers. That pitch misses away with the fastball. No balls and 1 strike to count. Once again, that shift on for Utah Valley. You're going to see a lot more of the shift this year than we've seen in years past. Kofer winds, kicks, comes home. The 1-0 pitch swung on, foul back. Count will move now to an even 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Kofer. Sorry, on Ryan Barr. Barr hitting .412 on the season, but 7 for 17 makes up that .412. One ball, one strike. Here's the wind, the kick, and the delivery. Comes home right off the plate for a ball. Count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike here on Bar. Bar, Hawken, and Farley here in the top of the second inning. Kofer kicks, comes home, delivers. That pitch swung on, popped up. Hit pretty well. It's got some good carry on it, but Mark Kruger going to range to right center field and make the play for the first out of the second inning. So a great job by Jackson Kofer, gets the deep fly ball, and with 1 out, that brings up left fielder Cody Hawken. Hawken, a freshman for Portland, stayed in play in left field today. Hawken, a freshman out of Vancouver, Washington, just a little bit north past Portland into just over the Columbia River. Breaking ball misses away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Once again, Jeff Aarons coming in, playing just barely off the infield grass, maybe a step or two onto the dirt there by third. The 1-0 pitch. This one swung on, foul back. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. First of 4, back again tomorrow, 6 o'clock first pitch. And then 6 o'clock on Saturday before a noon first pitch on Sunday. That one misses away for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. It's a great night to be at the ballpark here. Starting to cool off as the sun's gone down, but for the most part, man, it was nice when I got here this afternoon. It was still warm out. It was a nice night. 2-1 pitch. That one right misses for ball 3, and it's 3-1. Plenty of good seats still available, though. If you're in the area, you want to come out here to the stadium. Plenty of good seats available here at Brent Brown Ballpark. So the count will move to 3-1 on Cody Hawken. So Jackson Kofer is going to have to probably come in with something pretty good here to Hawken. Kofer slide steps, comes home, 3-1 pitch, swung on and missed as he challenges Hawken, and Hawken just swung right through it, and the count will run full 3-2. Back in left field, Craig Brinkerhoff playing about a step or 2 off the warning track. UVU playing pretty deep tonight. That pitch swung on and fouled back. Watching Portland during batting practice, Portland put some good swings on the baseball. It's a pretty good offensive club. When you take a look at it, their batting average only hitting about 243. That was last year, I should say. As Kofer set, ready to go, the 3-2 pitch swung on. That one's grounded through the hole past the diving Grayson Bogdan. And Hawken is on here with 1 out with the single. The second hit of the night for the Portland Pilots. And with 1 out, once again, they got a man on. Here's Kevin Farley. I was saying Portland's a pretty good offensive club. They're coming in hitting 250, which really, when you take a look at an entire team, that might not really jump off the table at you as being a good hitting club. But it's not bad when you take a look. They are scoring 6 runs a ball game, averaging 8 hits a ball game. That's not a bad offensive club. So here's the second baseman, Kevin Farley. Playing in again at third is Aarons. The runner gets his lead over at first. And here's the pitch. That one missing. Looks like a little bit low and inside for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes, or 1 ball and no strikes. The count here on Kevin Farley. Hawken over at first is 4 for 4 this year in stolen bases. We'll see if Portland, they did it in the first inning with Eric Sapp. We'll see if they send him. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Pickoff move at this little snap throw by Kofer. Diving back safely, though, is Kevin Farley. Matt Kelly on deck. 1 ball, no strikes the count. Farley, even stance in that batter's box, is ready to go. 1-0 pitch, taken low, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Mark Kruger shaded towards right center field. Craig Brinkerhoff, like I said, maybe a couple of steps in off the warning track in deep left center, and kind of more towards left center field, but you definitely have that huge gap out there going out to that about 20 mark out there by here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The 2-0 pitch, that one swung on, grounded right back up through the middle for a base hit. Long run for Kruger. Hawken will stay at second base, and Portland has put back-to-back hits here to start the second inning, and a couple of men on for Matt Kelly. So not the hardest hit ball in the world there by Kevin Farley, but it was hit just hard enough to get right back up the middle, and Grayson Bogdan just couldn't quite get there. And now we'll see here how Portland plays this here with one out. Some teams do like the sacrifice bunt here to move the runners into scoring position, but some coaches will let the player swing. Matt Kelly standing in, 4 for his first 20 on the season. Kelly, a freshman from Westland, Oregon, played at Wilsonville High School. Once again, just a few minutes south of Portland itself. Pitch comes in, that one right off the plate. That one's going to be called a strike, though, as Kofer's able to nick the corner. And it's no balls and a strike to count here on Jackson Kofer. 1-0 Utah Valley, top of the second inning. 1 out, runners on at first and second for the Portland Pilots. This is Portland's final non-conference series before they start play in the West Coast Conference. Kofer from the stretch looks in. Now he'll take a step off. Time called by the batter. Portland they play in the West Coast Conference, so the same conference as BYU, Pacific, San Diego, San Francisco, Santa Clara, St. Mary's. A lot of teams that Utah Valley has seen here in the early going. UC Davis, another one that Portland started their season with that Utah Valley saw. Wolverines seeing UC Davis in Santa Clara at the tournament a couple weeks ago. That one's past the diving Jeff Aarons. Coming around third is Hawken. He will score, and we're going to be tied at 1 on an RBI single by Matt Kelly, and we're tied at 1 here in the second. So 3 straight hits for Portland, and this game's quickly tied. Again, neither ball really hit hard, as pitching coach Dave Carter will head out to the mound to talk with Jackson Kofer. I mean, the 3 balls have been hit, and they've been hit, not extremely hard. They've just been able to find the right spots in that infield. And that one, Jeff Aarons tried to get to, but even if he dives, I don't think he gets there, and that would have easily gotten into left field. And with the speed of Cody Hawken would have scored on that from second with ease. So Michael Forgione will be the hitter with 1 out. And an opportunity here, if you can get a ground ball and quickly turn 2, you can get out of it with only allowing the 1 run. Jordan and I talked about it over at BYU on Tuesday night. We said the big thing for Utah Valley is to make sure they don't have these big explosion innings where teams get a 3 spot, a 4 spot, a 5 spot. And that's definitely something here that Utah Valley needs to avoid early on, because I just get the feeling you're not going to get very many runs from Jordan Wilcox. That one's off the plate for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Forgione. Jackson Kofer already up over 30 pitches here and through an inning and a third. Looking heavily for that double play ball here to Forgione. Forgione 7 for his first 38, no home runs, 7 RBIs. That pitch misses low below the knees, and the count moves to 2 balls and no strikes here on Forgione. Running on at second, Kevin Farley. Matt Kelly over at first. Gothberg not going to hold Kelly here, just playing behind him. Howell playing pretty close to that second base bag. He'll now drop back out, as that one's right on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 2-1. Kofer's having to work from behind, probably on a few more batters the first time through the order than he really would like. Right here, as he now looks for that key double play ball to get out of the inning. 2 balls, 1 strike to count on Forgione. Bogdan at short, Howell at second. Double play depth up the middle. Aarons playing close to the bag at third. That ball swung on and just going to roll foul back behind the dugout, well, right behind the catcher over towards the dugout. And now it moves to 2-2. So Kofer's worked from behind to get back into the count here. Evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just a gentle breeze blowing in, it looks like, from about right field. Edmondson playing in normal depth out in right field for Utah Valley. Kruger deep, but shaded towards right and center. That ball's going to be swung on, rolled over to third. Aarons is going to bobble it, and everybody's going to be safe. Aarons came up with it, and I think he was trying to get it out of his glove and try to make the play quickly, but that's going to be an E5 against Aarons. And the bases are full of the Pilots, and we head back to the top of the lineup and Jason Rosen. So the first error of the night for Utah Valley. Hopefully it's not a costly one. Back to the top of the lineup and Jason Rosen. Rosen swung at the first pitch of the game from Jackson Kofer and hit one right to Trevor Howell. A situation here you really would like something very similar. Up the middle, Howell, Bogdan. Bogdan playing a little bit shaded more towards the second base bag. There's a breaking ball. Misses low and inside for a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Gothberg, I wouldn't say holding the runner in this situation because he's not right on the bag, but playing close enough where Forgioni's not going to be able to get a very big lead. Kofer comes home. That pitch misses. High ball 2. It's 2 balls and no strikes to count now on Rosen. And Kofer struggling here to find the strike zone here in the second inning. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Rosen working in that left-handed hitting batter's box for the Portland Pilots. We're tied at 1. Bases loaded for Portland. 1 out. Kofer comes in, swung on and fouled away. It looks like it hit the glove of Jake Atkinson. And the count 2-1. So a big strike there from Kofer. Kofer was down in the count to Forgioni and then worked his way back in before Forgioni hit the slow roller to Aarons. Two balls and 1 strike to count. The left-hander Kofer working from that far left side of the pitcher's mound. From the stretch. 2-1 pitch. Swung on. That one's going to be hit off to left field. It's going to fall in front of Craig Brinkerhoff. Coming around third, Farley scores. Kelly right behind him. It's 3-1 Portland as Rosen heads into second base on the RBI. I don't know if we'll be interested to see if they're going to give him a double or they're going to give him a single and then advances to second. Nonetheless, 2-run score for the Pilots, and it's 3-1 Portland here in the second. A 2 RBI hit for Rosen. Scoring on the play was Farley and Kelly. Forgioni able to get down to third, and now with 1 out, we bring up Eric Sapp. Sapp had a single in the first, stole a base, and then he was on the base pass, and that kind of maybe controversial call at third base when the throw came down to try to get him as Sapp got caught out in no man's land. Kofer from the stretch kicks and comes home, breaking ball inside, and it hits him, and the bases are full for Portland once again. And now you're going to have to bring up Caleb Whalen, and that's not the guy you want up with the bases loaded if you're Utah Valley. The 8th man to come to the plate in the inning is here for Portland is going to be Whalen, and Whalen has had one of those weeks right now. He's currently tied for second in the country with doubles, coming in with 8. He also has, the senior outfielder also has the most triples in program history with 14. And he was also the reigning West Coast Conference Position Player of the Week for hitting .462 last week. First pitch to Whalen, swung on and missed as he took a big cut there, and quickly some action going to get going in the Utah Valley bullpen. A right-hander quickly begins to get loose for the Wolverines. Believe that might be, looking down there, I think that might be Jake Mayer. No balls and a strike to Whalen. Bases full of Pilots, the 0-1 pitch. That one right in there low, but a called strike, and it's 0-2. Whalen last week in that series for Portland against UC Riverside had 3 doubles, a home run, scored 4 runs, had 5 RBIs, and stole 2 bases in 2 attempts. So he had an all-around good series as now a ball gets away from the UVU bullpen and time quickly called by our third base umpire and home plate umpire Jeff Clough. No balls and 2 strikes the count on Whalen. Whalen hitting .409 on the season. Bases full for Portland. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball swung on. This one's hit high into the air into center field. It's going to be in the yard as Kruger is there. He'll make the catch for the second out. Tagging and coming into scores for Gioni to third is going to be Rosen, and it's 4-1 Portland here in the second. A good sacrifice fly there for Whalen. Credit him with an RBI. The important thing for Kofor, that's the second out of the inning. And now you bring up Cooper Hummel. Hummel's the ninth hitter to come to the plate here in the second for the Pilots. Grounded to second in his first at-bat to end the first inning. Runners on the corners, and this is a situation to be very careful with. Eric Sapp over at first base. Gothberg will hold him on here with 2 away. Sapp already with 1 stolen base here back in the first inning. First pitch right off the plate for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to the count. As we go throughout tonight's broadcast, we'll check the out-of-town scoreboard. Not a ton going on tonight, even throughout the entire country. This is the only WAC game, and also there's one other West Coast Conference game, BYU and taking on Niagara over at Miller Park, a few miles from here. The 1-0 pitch on its way home, right on the outside corner with the fastball. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Other than that, most of the other games going on are throughout the rest of the country and just various parts of the U.S. Kofor ready to go from the stretch. Checks Sapp over at first. He's going to throw over and back standing is Sapp. Sapp kind of looked like that front foot of his towards second base kind of looked like it was starting to turn in the dirt there as Kofor threw over. You have to be careful because Rosen, with good speed over at third base, could probably score too. That one swung on by Hummel, swung on and fouled away. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Cooper Hummel. That is Jake Mayer, it looks like, down in the bullpen, 23 for Utah Valley. The Wolverines have not announced yet their starting pitchers for tomorrow night's 6 p.m. contest and also for Saturday's 6 p.m. contest. Danny Bettis, the senior, will go on Sunday afternoon. That one misses away. Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Cooper Hummel. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Wind picking up a little bit here as we approach 6:30. Sun pretty much gone down. The lights pretty much taking full effect here today. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count. Sapp will now head back to first as Kofor kind of takes a step off the mound. Kofor comes home, runner goes, swung on, hit right through the right side. Rosen will score. Heading to third is Eric Sapp. The ball's misplayed in right field by Edmondson. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Scoring will be Sapp. Hummel's going to get held at third as the relay throw is cut off by Gothberg. It's 6-1 Portland here in the second. A big error there on Ryan Edmondson in right field as that ball just was a ground ball that he just kind of misplayed and the ball just rolled all the way to the wall. And Eric Madsen's going to come out of the dugout, and the night for Jackson Kofor is going to end here in the second. 6 runs for the Pilots, all coming here in the second. We head to the bottom of we stay here on the top of the second. We're going to have a pitching change here at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 6, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the second inning, Utah Valley going to the bullpen as number 29, Logan Hold, will come on. So it was not Jake Mayer. Hold, a junior out of Las Vegas, Nevada. The right-hander will come on. Last pitched over the weekend at Washington State, where he threw 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, which was not earned, and struck out 1. Got the win in that one. The first pitch is a breaking ball. It's in there for a called strike to Ryan Barr. Barr led off the inning and hit a high fly ball to center field and was retired. Jackson Kofer still responsible for the runner on at third as well. His line so far, well, hopefully Logan Hold will keep that run off the board. The 0-1 pitch, that one be high for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. The good news for Jackson Kofer is only 3 of those 6 runs that have been scored here in the second inning will go against him. A couple of those runs scored on an error, or the guy got on base because of the error. That will actually go down as an unearned run. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Hold kicks and delivers. That pitch swung on and missed as Barr took a big swing there and came up empty, and the count was 1 ball and 2 strikes. Portland wearing the all-gray tops. Utah Valley wearing the all-white uniforms tonight. Utah Valley will have some work to do as they head to the home half of the second inning. 1-2 pitch swung on, popped up. That will go foul over us, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jake Atkinson, Trevor Howell, and Jeff Aarons, 7, 8, 9, coming up in the bottom of the second inning. Barr will stand out of the box now, will come back in. Logan Hold working from the stretch in relief here. The 1-2 pitch swung on. That one's lined to right. Edmondson going back on it. He dives. He doesn't get there. It's going to one hop and roll to the wall. Barr takes the turnaround second. He's going for third. The relay throw misplayed by Howell, and it's 7-1 Portland here in the second inning as they have their 7th run on their 5th hit of the ball game. As Edmondson just kind of misplayed that one, it looks like. I don't know if he kind of lost it as he went back on it or not, but that's going to end up being a triple for Barr. And now with 2 outs, it's going to bring up Cody Hawken. Hawken 1 for 1 with a single, came around to score the first run for Portland. So that should officially close the book tonight on Jackson Kofer. That pitch swung on and missed on the breaking ball, and it's 0-1. So line official on Jackson Kofer, he goes an inning and 2/3 tonight. Allows 6 hits, gives up 7 runs, 3 of which are going to be earned. No balls and a strike. The breaking ball swung on and missed as out in front of it there was Cody Hawken, and it's quickly 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. The count. Hold from the stretch, kicks and delivers. That pitch blocked in the dirt by Atkinson, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Cody Hawken. Action beginning to go now once again in the UVU bullpen. That one misses low and away for a ball, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another right-hander beginning to get loose for the Wolverines. Big hole out in left center field. Kruger once again shaded towards right center field. Time called as Hawken will take a step out of the batter's box. Now he'll step back in, ready to go. That pitch swung on, popped up. On the infield, Gothberg going to come in. He's going to get under it. He's going to find it and make the play, and the inning is over. But the damage is done as the bats for Portland come alive. We head to the bottom of the second inning. It's Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
People talk about college like you're in some kind of bubble. Like there's college, and then there's the real world. Hey, this is UVU. You're not just reading about it or watching someone else do it. This is engaged learning. At the certificate, associate's, bachelor's, or master's level, you're in the real world every day.
Looking to spend that birthday money, Tyler? I'm just not sure which one to get.
Be the first hitter to stand in and face Jordan Wilcox. Wilcox right now having plenty of run support as the Pilots lead this one 7-1. First pitch on the way to Atkinson, misses inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes the count on Jake Atkinson. Atkinson, the sophomore out of Cottonwood High School up in Murray. 1-0 pitch on its way. That one swung on, popped up. It's going to come back towards us here and hit off the net and roll back onto the field. And the count evens 1 ball and 1 strike on Atkinson. It will be Jake Atkinson, Trevor Howell, and Jeff Ahrens all getting their first at-bats of the ball game here this evening against Jordan Wilcox. Wilcox working from the windup, looks in, gets the sign from Cooper Hummel. The 1-1 pitch, right on the outside corner. That's a called strike, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count here on Jake Atkinson. Once again, ready to go. The wind, the delivery comes home. Swung on. That one's ripped hard down the line, but it's going to go foul, and the count will stay 1 ball and 2 strikes on Atkinson. Atkinson just got around that a little on the early side. Got plenty of bat on it, but just fouled it away. Ready to go once again. Here's Jordan Wilcox. Wilcox working here from the windup. Gets the sign, comes home. Pitch going to be low for ball 2, and it evens the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a good pitch. Didn't miss by much there if you're Jordan Wilcox. One I know the Portland Pilot dugout there really wanted. The 2-2 pitch coming home. That pitch called strike 3. Kind of a late strike 3 call from Clough behind home plate, but he rings up Jake Atkinson, the second strikeout of the night for Jordan Wilcox. And with 1 out, that's going to bring up Trevor Howell. Right there, that low fastball just kind of caught the inside corner. Wasn't a ton there that, to be honest with you, as a hitter, you could do with it. Atkinson, even if he swings at that, gets just barely the kind of the inside part of the bat on it, would have ended up being just like a routine ground ball. Even if he's able to make contact with it, this pitch, first pitch to Howell, low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes the count. Trevor Howell, one of the new additions here to Utah Valley. Freshman out of San Diego, California, stands in the 1-0 pitch. Right on the outside corner, count moves to 1-1. Howell is making his 10th start, his 12th overall appearance on the year, 13 for his first 39. No balls, or 1-1 pitch swung on, fouled away, and the count moves to 1-2. Jordan Wilcox has done a great job tonight of staying ahead of the count to most hitters. Got in a little bit of trouble in that first inning when Zach Willis reached on an error and came around to score. Gave up the couple of hits, but other than that, it's been able to pitch pretty well here in the early going. The 1-2 pitch on its way, swung on and rolled over foul. And we'll redo a 1-2 pitch. A new addition we mentioned in the broadcast the other night over BYU. One of the kind of the new additions this year is Coach Eric Madsen down in the third base coaching box for Utah Valley. And I believe over at first base, it's going to be Eric Vasquez, the volunteer assistant coach from the first base coaching box. The 1-2 pitch coming home. That one's going to be grounded deep in the hole. Backhanded by Forgione. His throw to first is going to be in time to get Trevor Howell. A bang, bang play, and Forgione able to just put enough on that throw to get Howell, who moves well down the baseline, and there's 2 outs here in the second inning. So with 2 outs, it brings up third baseman Jeff Ahrens. Ahrens trying to, I don't know if it's adjusting to a new pitching staff or college level pitching. Ahrens having a slow start to his year. 2 for his first 24, hitting .083 coming into this at bat. But the good news about that is he's about time for him to get a nice hit here for the Wolverines. The first pitch low in at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. A right-hander continuing to get loose down in the Wolverine bullpen. The 0-1 pitch coming home. And that one's a breaking ball, kind of the slider look there as it hits the outside corner for a called strike. And right now, Jordan Wilcox really just pounding the strike zone. Wilcox ready to go. The 0-2 pitch. Right on the outside corner. Called. Strike 3. Got Jeff Ahrens looking. And the side is retired. Utah Valley goes 3 up, 3 down in the second. We've finished 2 here from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
In this moment, it doesn't matter if you save money in 15 minutes. It doesn't matter if your neighbor has the same insurance that you do. What matters right now is the quality of your independent insurance agent.
Glad you're okay, Sarah. We'll take care of everything.
And the company that stands behind them.
Thanks so much for your help.
No problem.
Auto Owners Insurance.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
Top of the third inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark as Logan Hold will continue to work on the mound. The right-hander will get the bottom part of the Portland Pilots lineup. Kevin Farley, Matt Kelly, and Michael Forgione, 7, 8, 9 coming up. This is really the part that got Jackson Kofer in some trouble as Kevin Farley started it all off with a single. There was a couple of other men on base at the time for the Pilots, but this part of the lineup really kind of knocked Kofer around. The first pitch off the plate for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count here to the leadoff man, Kevin Farley. Ready to go once again. Logan Hold working from the stretch as he typically does. Breaking ball kind of comes back in on the inside corner but doesn't break enough over the plate for a strike. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Hold so far on the season, we talked about his last outing up in Pullman against Washington State. Other than that, he's pitched about a couple of times in long relief for 3 innings at a time. That's a ground ball. Diving try by Ahrens, but he doesn't come up with it. A base hit. And on is Kevin Farley to start the third for Portland. Second hit for Kevin Farley, and that will bring up Matt Kelly. Logan Hold's first appearance of the season came down in surprise against the Minnesota Golden Gophers, a team that will be back in town here in Orem next weekend, actually, the 18th, 19th, and 20th here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The first time a Big Ten team has come in here to Orem. Matt Kelly 1 for 1, a single and an RBI as that one misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Hold's also had a couple of other appearances, throwing an inning here and there as well against UC Davis in San Francisco. So he's had plenty of work out of that bullpen for the Wolverines as action down in that bullpen kind of slows up here a little bit in the start of the third inning. The 0-1 pitch, Hold kicks and comes home, bunt showed, and that one swung on and fouled straight back as Kelly just got the barrel a little bit too under the baseball there and just popped it up. It's 0-2. Kevin Farley running at first. Talked about in the first inning how Portland does like to steal bases. Farley's 1 for 1 on the season. We'll see if he goes anytime here in the count. I don't think he would be going in an 0-2 situation. Time called here as stepping out will be Kelly as he calls a quick time as night has fallen here in Orem. The lights have taken full effect. The traffic coming down University Parkway in the distance. 0-2 pitch, pickoff move, and diving back is Kevin Farley. We'll have a 6 p.m. first pitch tomorrow night here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and also a 6 p.m. Saturday night first pitch before the noon game on Sunday. The 0-2 pitch about to come home, misses low for a ball, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Portland plays in the West Coast Conference with BYU, St. Mary's, Loyola Marymount. Right now, if you just take a look at the overall record for Portland, Portland's 8-4 overall, which should be second in the West Coast Conference. And once again, Farley back underneath the tag. Portland was projected to be towards the bottom of the conference, and I mean, when conference play starts, we'll know a little bit more, it seems to think, about what will happen in the West Coast Conference. But right now, playing maybe above expectations of at least what the other teams in the West Coast Conference thought. That pitch misses inside for a ball, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Portland has played some really good competition in the early going part of their season. UC Davis, they just put lights on their field, and they got their first night game played in Portland a couple weeks ago against Oakland. Oakland, a university from, I believe, the Detroit area. Made the trip out. The 2-2 pitch fouled away, and the count will stay at 2-2. They installed, I believe, that also that field turf up there that a lot of the schools in the Pacific Northwest have added. I know the University of Oregon, when they built their new park, put that in. Oregon State also with it now. Two balls and 2 strikes the count here on Matt Kelly. Kelly with an RBI single in that 7-run second inning for Portland. Breaking ball misses away, ball 3, and the count moves to 3-2 on Kelly. So Matt Kelly was down in the count early on and then has fought his way back. Count will run full here. Top of the 3rd inning, 7-1 Portland on top at Utah Valley, the home opener for the Wolverines. Gothberg will hold the runner over at first, and the pitch swung on, hit hard over towards that Utah Valley dugout, and a couple of the Wolverines quickly back off the railing there as that ball was a rocket hit off the bat of Matt Kelly. Double play depth, or as close to it as we've seen from Utah Valley here in the early going of this one. That shift, a big defensive part for Utah Valley this year, but that's probably as close as double play depth we're going to see. There's a line drive shot out into the gap. That's going to fall. Going all the way to the wall, coming around third. Farley is going to be held at third. The throw comes into second, and they got him. Matt Kelly tried to stretch that single into a double. A great relay throw coming from Mark Kruger as he got to the gap and throws a one-hopper into second base. And Matt Kelly was retired, but Farley able to move down to third. So now with 1 out in the inning, Michael Forgione will come to the plate. Forgione reached on an error. He hit a slow chopper over to third, and Jeff Ahrens got there, but I think he just kind of lost the ball trying to pull it out of his glove and got thinking, okay, I got to throw it, and then just kind of bobbled the baseball, and it was all history from there. Utah Valley will come in. They'll try to cut this run down, and the pitch is over for a strike, and it's 0-1. Forgione then came around later on to score later on in the inning on, I believe it was the Jason Rosen 2-run single. 0-1 pitch, about to come home from hold, and that one falls off the plate, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Defensively, the outfield playing pretty normal depth with Edmondson, Kruger, and Brinkerhoff. Infield playing about maybe a step off the infield grass. If that ball is hit right to them, they're going to try to cut that run down. Breaking ball misses high and tight. Ball 2-2-1. First of 4 with Portland. The home opener, Utah Valley will play 7 straight here at Brent Brown Ballpark, with Minnesota coming in next weekend. 2 balls and a strike. Here's hold comes in. That one's grounded. Gothberg's going to knock it down. That's going to keep it on the infield. He'll touch first for the second out of the inning. A nice defensive play from Gothberg right there to quickly make the play and then recognize to check the runner. I think potentially had Farley ran on contact, he might have, it would have been a very close play at the plate nonetheless, but with less than 2 outs and the way this Portland team has been hitting, 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position and 6 for 10 tonight with runners on base. Probably not the best idea there to run as you go back to the top of the lineup and Jason Rosen. Rosen takes that one, a called strike on the outer half for an 0-1 count. Rosen grounded to second in the first and then had the 2-run double back in the second inning. That one came to left field as he just sliced one away from Craig Brinkerhoff. 0-1 pitch, and that one sits right again in that same spot for a called strike, and it's 0-2. Eric Sapp in the on-deck circle for the Portland Pilots. Logan Hold from the stretch gets the sign. Looking for that big final strike to get out of the third. On its way, that one misses away with the fastball. It's 1-2. Being ahead in the count 0-2 like that, you can kind of waste a pitch, so to speak, as you don't necessarily have to come straight over the plate right there. But you have to be careful in that situation because oftentimes the 0-2 pitch, you'll see them throw something in the dirt, but with 2 outs and that runner over at third and with the speed that Kevin Farley has, you can't do that. That's going to be hit down the left field line. Brinkerhoff runs over towards the line, makes the play, and the side is retired. Portland Pilots don't get any runs. They do get the 2 hits in the inning. They leave 1. We head to the bottom of the third inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the third inning at Brent Brown Ballpark, Utah Valley trailing 7-1. And their home opener, and they'll have the top of the lineup coming up with Grayson Bogdan for the Wolverines. Jordan Wilcox has really put it on cruise control since he allowed those couple of hits back in the first inning, as Grayson Bogdan will stand in 0 for 1 with a ground out back in the first. And that pitch swung on and hit well to center. Whalen gets back under it, though. He'll make the play for the first out of the third inning. So a hard hit ball by Grayson Bogdan. Got a good fastball, but just hit it right at somebody. And with 1 away, that's going to bring up Zach Willis. Willis, the designated hitter, 0 for 1, reached on an error back in the first, hit a really hard ball right at Forgione, but when Forgione went to field it, it just kind of, I don't know if it hit a rock or something on that infield, just took a high hop on him for an error. And Zach Willis reached and came around to score. Willis takes first pitch low with the fastball, 1 ball and no strikes to count. Portland is 2-0 this year when Wilcox has been on the mound. The 0-1 pitch, and that one in there for a called strike, and it's evens the count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Ready to go once again. Wilcox comes home and check swing. They're going to appeal the first. No, he did not go. And the count is 2 balls and a strike. Wilcox ready to go once again. Gets the sign, comes home. The 2-1 pitch. Right in at the knees for a called strike. And the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes on Zach Willis. I'm sorry, I'm gonna correct that. Jordan Wilcox, when he's on the mound, Portland is actually 3-0. He got a no decision in one of those outings as Willis swings and misses at a pitch out of the zone for the strikeout. That is the 4th for Wilcox on the evening, and the 2nd out of the 3rd inning as he gets Willis to go down. And with 2 down, that brings up Mark Kruger. Kruger had a hard hit single out in the left center field that just kind of hit the gap and just rolled a little bit there, and Zach Willis was able to go down from 1st to 3rd. Kruger was all preseason Western Athletic Conference for the Wolverines, and the pitch comes in and one misses low and inside. The only Wolverine to be named to the preseason Western Athletic Conference team. The 1-0 pitch about to come home. Swung on and missed by Kruger, and the count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. A shift is on here for Portland as Forgione, the shortstop, playing back behind the second base bag. 1-1 pitch. That one's going to skip off the glove of Cooper Hummel and roll to the backstop, and the count moves to 2 balls and a strike. Two and one on Mark Kruger. Kruger playing in center field, hitting .298 on the season for Utah Valley. That one swung on and fouled straight back to the screen, and the count moves to 2-2. Tomorrow night, Utah Valley will have not announced their starting pitcher or the starting pitcher for Saturday night's contest, but we do know that Danny Bettis will go on Sunday afternoon for the noon first pitch. 2-2 pitch. Kruger takes that one to left field. That's going to slice foul. So 1 hops and goes off the wall. And count will stay 2-2. Jordan Wilcox has thrown about 45 pitches or so, no more than about 45 here through 2 2/3 innings for the Portland Pilots. He's allowed the 2 hits, the 1 run, which goes as an unearned run as Zach Willis reached on an error. 2-2 pitch misses low. Good backhanded stop there by Cooper Hummel. And the count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Spencer Gothberg will be in the on-deck circle to follow if Kruger should advance to keep the inning alive. Wilcox from the windup. Looks in, gets the sign from Cooper Hummel. Big gap out in left center field. Pitch swung on. That one's going to left field, and that's going to once again slice foul down by the UVU bullpen. Caleb Whalen in center field is playing shaded way towards right center. He's really deep too, which I mean isn't really a bad thing with Mark Kruger because Kruger's got a lot of power, but there's so much room out in that left center field gap. 3-2 pitch misses low, ball 4, and Utah Valley has a base runner here with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. second time in the ball game that Mark Kruger's been aboard, and now that will bring up Spencer Gothberg. Gothberg 0 for 1. He popped up to Eric Sapp back in the first inning with a couple of men on base. As now Gothberg will stand in here. Craig Brinkerhoff would follow here if Gothberg can keep this inning going. Kruger, Gothberg, and Brinkerhoff in the 7th inning of that game on Tuesday when UVU was trailing 6-1. They got something going, but then a double play ended the inning. First pitch coming home, that one misses low for a ball. It was 1 ball and no strikes. The count here on Spencer Gothberg. And now it's time called here as delivering the pitch was Jordan Wilcox, but then time was called. In that 7th inning the other night over at BYU, Spencer Gothberg led off with a single, Kruger led off with a single, then Gothberg, but then Craig Brinkerhoff grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. Ended any threat there. Snap throw down to first, diving back is Mark Kruger, he's safe, and the count heads to 2 balls and no strikes on Gothberg. That was probably one of the more, to that point of the ball game for Utah Valley. There just wasn't a ton of offense really on either side. BYU did have the 6 runs, but a few of those came off of walks in that, as UVU allowed 8 walks the other night, a season high. One misses ball 3, it's 3 balls and no strikes, and that really ended up being the difference of the ball game the other night against BYU. Danny Bettis allowing 4 of those 8 walks in 3 2/3 of an inning that got hit with a loss, and really a game where he didn't really pitch terrible. He just, a few things went wrong here and there. The 3-0 called strike, and it's 3-1. Fortunately, walks are kind of like turnovers in basketball and football. It can quickly change the contrast of the game. 3 balls and 1 strike on Gothberg. He should see a good pitch here. The 3-1 swung on line right back up the box for a base hit. Taking the turnaround second will be Kruger. He'll hold there, and Utah Valley has runners on first and second here. Back-to-back singles by Kruger and Gothberg, and they got something going with 2 outs for Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff had the RBI single back in the first inning that was able to get the run home, and now he'll look to see here if he can't get something going. Now we'll have a visit out to the mound. I believe that's going to be Greg Swenson. His first season at the University of Portland is the pitching coach, works with a lot of the pitchers. Swenson spent a couple of years back at Washington State University with the Cougars, back when Washington State had an opportunity to go to a couple of regionals, I believe, back-to-back in 2009, 2010. Helped Washington State do that right there, and then he ended up coming to the University of Portland. Looks like he's also spent some time with the University of Washington. So a very, has a lot of experience in that Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest having a little bit bigger name now for baseball than maybe 10, 15 years ago that it had once Oregon State really made those runs in the mid-2000s. All of a sudden, baseball in the Pacific Northwest kind of skyrocketed. So with 2 outs, here's Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff from the right side, first pitch. Misses for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Utah Valley doing a very good job of disciplined hitting here in the third. Taking a lot of pitches, working counts, not chasing a lot of pitches out of the zone. Ryan Edmondson on deck for Utah Valley. 1-0 pitch on its way, and that one misses once again. It's 2 balls and no strikes. The wind begins to pick up once again. Now it looks like blowing in from right field. Caleb Whalen in center field, something to keep an eye on, is shading Brinkerhoff more towards right center. There's a huge hole out there in left center field. If Brinkerhoff could pull one into the gap right here, potentially could score 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners get their leads. Brinkerhoff takes this one on the inside corner for a called strike, and it's 2-1. One thing that having some of these more longer at-bats and taking pitches, one thing that helps with Utah Valley is that's going to get the pitch count up for Jordan Wilcox. I think Utah Valley also needs to chip a run here and there here to try to chip into this lead. Brinkerhoff's going to fist that one right to second, and there to make the plays Farley, and the inning's over. So 2 hits for the Wolverines in the inning are stranded on base. We've played 3 from Brent Brown Ballpark. It's Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
In the bottom of the third for the Wolverines. No runs on 1 hit with no errors and 2 left on base. After 3 complete, Portland 7, Wolverines 1. Takano's Brazilian Grill is a proud sponsor of Wolverine Athletics. Please visit our location at the shops at Riverwoods and try some of our dishes, like grilled Alaskan salmon and bacon wrap filet. Visit our website at www.tacanos.com and go Mighty Green.
Top of the 4th here at Brent Brown Ballpark in Orem, Utah. Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. Thanks for tuning in on a Thursday night for Wolverine Baseball as 2, 3, and 4 come up here for the Pilots. Eric Sapp, Caleb Whalen, and Cooper Hummel due up here. We'll take a look here, update you on a couple of scores. Northeastern and Washington State playing their first game of their series up in Pullman. That one missing low for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Northeastern leading Washington State in the 7th, 4-3. Bottom of the 4th over in Provo, BYU 7, Niagara 1. So the Cougars pulling the bats out again tonight. That ball's going to be lined right to first, and Spencer Gothberg able to pull it down for the first out of the inning. Ball hit hard off the bat of Eric Sapp, but just lined right at Spencer Gothberg, and all he had to do is stick the glove out to make the play. Caleb Whalen, the center fielder, stands in. Whalen went down on a strikeout back in the 1st and then had a sacrifice fly in the 7th for the Pilots. He'll face the right-hander Logan Holt, who's done a great job in relief here for Utah Valley. First pitch misses up and in with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Hold takes a long look into Jake Atkinson behind home plate. The 1-0 pitch, swung on. That ball's hit well to center field. Kruger coming in. He'll make the catch as he comes in hard from center field, and quickly 2 outs. And that's one thing, if you can get Logan Holt a couple of quick outs and a couple of quick innings here, you might be able to extend him out. Right now only at around 32, 33 pitches, as it's going to bring up Cooper Hummel. Hummel will hit from the first time tonight from the left side of the plate. He had an RBI single in the 2nd inning that was then misplayed by Edmondson in right field, and then he made it all the way to 3rd. That was the last batter that Jackson Kofer would face on the night. Hummel swings and pulls that one hard, but way foul, and it snowballs on a strike. Got a pretty good bat on it, but just didn't keep it fair. We mentioned how Portland was picked to finish more towards the bottom of the West Coast Conference, and they were picked actually to finish 10th. They picked up 13 votes or points in the preseason poll. 0-1 pitch, and that one on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 0-2. San Diego was actually picked to win the conference. They had 6 first place votes and 76 overall points in that pool. No Portland player was selected to the preseason all-WAC team either. No balls and 2 strikes. The count. Hold comes in. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And Logan Hold has a 1-2-3 inning here in the 4th. Gets his first strikeout of the ball game. And most importantly, has a quick inning to get the Wolverines back up. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Okay, fans, it's time for the Wiener Dog hot dog eating contest. Let's go down to Melissa on the dugout.
All right, fans, I've got my hot dogs down here. Lex, you're looking good. We're going to have a quick little hot dog eating contest. You guys have 20 seconds. I need you to take your hot dogs right now. I'm going to get out of the way. My only rule is you cannot throw up. And if you do, aim that way. On your marks, get set, go. I need to hear some cheering for these lovely human beings. Oh, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Let's hear it for him. Who's gonna win? Who thinks ketchup is gonna win? How about mustard? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop, stop, stop. Ooh, mustard. Congratulations. We've got a winner. Let's hear it for him.
Bottom of the fourth inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, as right now Jordan Wilcox has been in control through 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts for the Pilots, as Ryan Edmondson will come to the plate. It will be Edmondson, Atkinson, and Howell, 6, 7, and 8 coming up here for Utah Valley. Edmondson stands in and takes the first pitch, called strike. It's 0-1. Edmondson went down on a strikeout looking to end the first inning. Ready to go once again. Wilcox on the mound, comes home. Swung on, and that one's going to be fouled away here as it comes up here. As Edmondson was down the baseline, he might have had a good shot at beating that one out, but the ball, when he hit it, came right back up and went foul off. It looks like home plate. It'll be quickly 0-2 on Edmondson. Outfield, infield playing pretty straight away. Farley in the hole, though, shaded pretty deep in that hole to the right side. 7-1 Portland on top. Ready to go. The wind, the delivery, the 0-1 pitch. The 0-2 pitch misses away for a ball, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Jake Atkinson would follow on deck for the Wolverines here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The 2016 home opener. The 1-2 pitch swung on. That ball hit pretty well out to right field. It's going to now fall. Coming in, though, and making the catch is Rosen for the first out of the inning. Off the bat, it looked like maybe it was hit a little bit harder than it was, and Rosen was able to run it down pretty quick. So with 1 out, Jake Atkinson comes to the plate. Atkinson went down looking in the 2nd inning. And when he went down swinging, went down looking to start the 2nd, swings first pitch, rolls it foul over towards the dugout, and it's no balls and 1 strike the count here on Jake Atkinson. Atkinson started quite a bit last year for the Wolverines behind the plate. Has split time here in the early going with Zach Willis. The 0-1 pitch right off the plate, called strike 2, and it's quickly 0-2. Zach Willis will catch a little bit as well for Utah Valley. But I think a lot of it we're going to see, especially once we get into whack play, we'll see a lot of Willis and Atkinson behind the plate. The 0-2 pitch, that one breaking ball, that's good stop by Hummel behind the plate, but it would be a ball, and it's 1-2 the count here on Jake Atkinson. Trevor Howell, the 2nd baseman, to follow for the Wolverines. Utah Valley 1 run on 3 hits, 2 errors tonight. The 1-2 pitch, one swung on, rolled over to 3rd, and it's going to go foul. Matt Kelly backhanded that one just in a little bit too much foul ground. Portland not using a ton of shifts tonight. They've been pretty, just kind of pretty normal depth all the way around the infield. Ready to go. He winds, delivers the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Atkinson's going to get away from the catcher. Hummel, good throw down to first, is in time for the second out of the inning. Second time that Atkinson's gone down on strikes, and with 2 outs here in the fourth, Trevor Howell's going to come up to the plate. Howell's 0 for 1. He hit a ball pretty deep in the hole, and Forgione was able to get there and makes the nice throw across the diamond. Forgione had a pretty good arm to make that throw across the diamond. Howell moves pretty well down the baseline. Looking to see if he can't start something with 2 outs here in the first pitch. Misses low with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Utah Valley coming into tonight, going kind of record-wise by loss. I think by a lot of the time by losses, as the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Sat 5th in the WAC standing. Sacramento State 7-3 right now is put at the top. The most wins though in the conference right now. Grand Canyon and Seattle both have 8. I should say also and New Mexico State. So it's going to be a really competitive WAC conference this year. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Jordan Wilcox, the right-hander, winds, delivers. That one misses low, ball 3. It's 3 balls and no strikes, and Wilcox wants a new baseball. I'll switch that out here. Wilcox to 60 pitches on the night. And that one's in there, 3-0 for a called strike. It's 3 balls and 1 strike to count here on Trevor Howell. Howell kind of started there to make 1 step towards first base, and that strike got called after. 3-1 pitch. That one's in on the inside corner for a called strike, and it's 3-2. So once again, battling back in the count was Jordan Wilcox. Ready to go, the 3-2 pitch. Swung on, foul back. We'll do another 3-2.
Foul ball, courtesy of Utah Army National Guard.
Howell will quickly take a step out of the box now. He'll step back in. Ready to go. Pitch comes again. Howell right back to the pitcher who just kind of put his glove out and made the play. So just an inside pitch that just got hit right back to the mound. And right there, Jordan Wilcox shows it's not just about that he can pitch, but it's also about the glove. We had end of 4. It's Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Wolverines 1. Fans, check the back of your ticket stub for a special discount offer from UVU Bookstore. The bookstore is a proud sponsor of Wolverine Athletics. Utah Valley Hospital is now part of the Primary Children's Network, with 26 children's health specialists on hand to treat almost any pediatric condition. Children in their community are now receiving the best in pediatric care in a convenient location as close to home. Learn more at utahvalleyhospital.org/primary.
Top of the 5th inning starting here at Brent Brown Ballpark as Portland will send up 5, 6, and 7. Ryan Barr will step in. He is 1 for 2 so far tonight for the Pilots as some action will begin to get loose down in the Utah Valley bullpen. Logan Hold into another inning of work. Barr swings first pitch, pops this one high up on the infield. Getting there is going to be Howell, and shallow right field makes the play. 4 out number 1 here in the 5th. So Logan Hold has come in, has done a nice job of finding ways to get some quick outs here for Utah Valley. It's been kind of a nice way just to kind of get things going. No balls and one out for Cody Hawken. No pitches yet thrown to Hawken with the one out. Breaking ball swung on, fouled away, and snowballs and a strike. Hawken had a single back in the second, and then also popped out to Spencer Gothberg to end the long second inning. Portland scoring 7 runs back in the second inning. They kind of got all the scoring started. Hold comes in, that one about knee high with the changeup, and it's 0-2. Utah Valley trying to see if they can chip away at Jordan Wilcox in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's been slow going tonight getting hits for Utah Valley. Pitch right on the outside corner, called strike 3 as they ring up Cody Hawken here, got him looking. Second strikeout of the ball game for Logan Hold, and with 2 outs, Kevin Farley comes to the plate. Farley's 2 for 2 tonight for Portland, a couple of base hits. Came around to score a run back in the second inning. Made a couple of nice defensive plays tonight for the Pilots as well. That wind beginning to kind of come up here and keeping it kind of chilly at the ballpark tonight. Breaking ball in there for a called strike on the outside. Logan Hold having pretty good success getting that outside, getting that changeup and that breaking pitch to sit right on the outside corner, especially in the 4th and so far in the 5th inning. No balls and a strike to count. Hold gets the sign. Bogdan playing deep in the hole at short. There's a breaking ball, misses for a ball, and it evens the count up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Grayson Bogdan playing about a step or 2 onto the outfield grass, which isn't really uncommon for Grayson Bogdan to do over the last couple of years playing shortstop. 1-1 pitch, swung on and rolled foul over by the Utah Valley dugout, and the count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Logan Hold here looking for a big strikeout. If he can find a way to get 1, 2, 3, get out of this inning, he's going to be giving his offense a chance. That's been a huge thing after that big 7-run inning to come in and have Logan Hold put a couple zeros up. He's given that offense and given the men behind him a chance. That pitch inside corner, but missed a little bit too far in, and the count evens at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Hold comes in, swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Logan Hold, his 3rd of the ball game. And we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. 1, 2, 3, go the Pilots in the 5th. Bottom of the 5th inning, coming up for the Wolverines. It's going to be Jeff Aarons lead it off. After the break, you're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Bottom of the 5th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley looking to try to get something going, and they'll do it with the bottom part of the lineup. Jeff Aarons, then back to the top of the lineup. Grayson Bogdan and Zach Willis, 9-1 and 2, coming up here against Jordan Wilcox. And Wilcox has pitched pretty well throughout this one tonight. First pitch, Aaron swings and rolls it foul back over towards the Utah Valley dugout. Utah Valley wearing the home white uniforms tonight. Portland in the visiting gray uniforms if you're just joining us here. The Pilots scoring. Utah Valley actually scored first in the ball game as Aaron swings and rolls that one to third. It's going to be fielded by Kelly. His throw across the diamond in time for the first out of the 5th inning. So with one away, back to the top of the lineup and an 0 for 2, Grayson Bogdan. Utah Valley actually scored first in this one, scoring back in that first inning, an RBI single from Craig Brinkerhoff. But then all of a sudden, in this top of the 2nd inning, Portland came back. They got a couple of hits together. RBIs by Kelly and Rosen and Whalen, Hummel and Barr. That one misses low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Contributed to a 7-run, 6-hit inning. A couple of errors in there by Utah Valley didn't help. The only 2 errors the Wolverines have came in during that inning. The 1-0 pitch from Wilcox misses low, and it's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Grayson Bogdan. Bogdan grounded out to short back into the first and then flew out to center, kind of lined out his last at bat. That one's going to be bounced to short. The throw over to first is going to be misplayed by the first baseman. I think it went off his glove, rolls away. Bogdan will be safe. We'll see. I'm assuming that's probably going to be an E3 against the first baseman. And it will be it looks like it will be an E3. We haven't seen the error go up on the board yet, but I would imagine that that's going to be an E. I would imagine I mean, it was a good throw by Forgione over to first. It was just mishandled by Sapp at first, and and so I would imagine that's really the only way they'd be able to score it right there. Here's Zach Willis. Willis has reached on an error and struck out in his 2 at-bats today. Ready to go, the right-hander. Wilcox comes in. That pitch is going to be rolled foul down the line. And then right now, as it's no balls and a strike. No balls and 1 strike here on Willis. And they're going to credit that as an error against the shortstop for Gioni on the throw. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Zach Willis. Willis hitting that 2 spot for Utah Valley. Hits that one hard to center field. Coming on, though, Whalen will be there to make the play for the 2nd out of the inning. And there's 2 outs here in the 5th. So with 2 outs, I'll bring up Mark Kruger. Kruger's been aboard both times in his at-bat so far. Had a single back in the first and then was walked in the 3rd. As Kruger will stand in here against Wilcox. Wilcox has been around the plate the entire ball game. Only has the 1 walk so far. The dangers of when you're around the plate for a majority of the game, though, eventually you would think you're going to leave one for a good hitter like Kruger. Swinging first pitch, it's going to be a slow roller right out in front of home plate. The throw to first in time from Cooper Hummel, and the side is retired. So the error by Forgione doesn't hurt Portland in the 5th. We head to the 6th. 7-1 Pilots on top of the Wolverines here on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the 6th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark here in Orem, and the Portland Pilots used a big inning, the 7-run second inning right now, and you take that inning off the scoreboard, it's a much closer ball game than it is. But at the end of the day, the 7 runs did happen as Matt Kelly will stand in to lead it off for Portland. Jeff Aarons will come in and play right on that infield grass. First pitch comes in, misses low for a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes here on Kelly. It made Matt Kelly, Michael Forgione, and then back to the top of the lineup, and Jason Rosen, 8-9-1 coming up. 1 ball and no strikes to count as Hold comes in. Pitch swung on and hit well out to center field. Kruger will take a couple of steps back, then he'll come up and he'll make the play for the first out of the 6th inning. And with 1 out, it'll bring up Michael Forgione. Forgione reached on an error, came around to score a run, and then grounded out to Spencer Gothberg in his last at-bat back in the 3rd inning. That was a huge out because the ground ball at the time had a runner on 3rd with less than 2 outs, and Gothberg was able to knock it down and keep it on the infield. As the first pitch comes in for a strike, 0-1. Gothberg was able to kind of slide and stop it and hit first base and kept the runner from scoring from 3rd. At the time, it would have increased the Portland lead out to 8-1. 0-1 pitch on its way. That one's going to be grounded to short. Bogdan is there, comes up with it cleanly, throws to first in time for the 2nd out of the inning, and Logan Hold has really gotten in a rhythm here. 8, 9, 10 straight retired, and back to the top of the lineup in Jason Rosen. Rosen's grounded out, has flown out, and also has the 2-run double back in that 3rd inning that he hit down the left field line, and Craig Brinkerhoff just couldn't quite get there. Rosen hitting in the leadoff position tonight for Portland, hitting over 300 on the year, and the breaking ball right on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. Portland I think they're going to make some noise in that West Coast Conference this year. Already out to their 8-4 right now, leading almost to their 9th victory of the season already. But hopefully Utah Valley's got some magic to come back on opening night. There's going to be a, did he go? Yes, he did, says home plate umpire Jeff Clough, and it's 0-2. 6 o'clock first pitch here at Brent Brown Ballpark tomorrow night. And then Saturday night we'll do it again, another 6 p.m. first pitch. And then Sunday we'll wrap up the 4-game series with a noon first pitch. Then Minnesota comes to town next weekend. No balls and 2 strikes. The count. Hold kicks and delivers a breaking pitch. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. Logan Hold gets the strikeout. And that is the 9th consecutive hitter to go down. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Logan Hold has done his job tonight to keep Utah Valley in it. Now we'll see if they can get some bats going in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 7-1 Portland here at Brent Brown Ballpark.
Hey, Wolverine fans, UVU Baseball will return to Brent Brown Ballpark tomorrow for Game 2 versus Portland.
Oh, hey, you got one of those insurance apps too? You know how this thing works?
No, sorry. Not an app, it's my agent.
In this moment,
No, I'm fine, thanks.
it's good to know you have a trusted, independent auto owner's insurance agent who's there when you need them.
Great.
Man, I gotta get one of those.
Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people.
Neil Dastrup Insurance, your local independent auto owners insurance agency, supports UVU athletics.
Bottom of the 6th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Utah Valley looking just to try to get the bats going tonight. They had 4 hits the other night against BYU over in Provo. And then tonight only so far been able to get the 3 hits. Trying to just get those bats going here in the month of March here. Had a pretty good weekend taking 3 of 4 from Washington State up in Pullman. And when they did that, I mean, they swung the bats well in Washington State. They played an extra inning ball game. They were able to find a way to win against the Cougars. But since returning to the state of Utah, the bats have gone a little bit cold. Granted the weather's a little more colder here, but I don't really think that's something that really makes a big difference. Well, I take that back, as Gothberg misses low ball one ball and no strikes. They talk about it every Major League Baseball season that it seems like batting averages seem to go up once the weather warms up everywhere. The 1-0 pitch as Gothberg swings and fouls that one away, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. And so it's one of those things, just kind of take a look at it and kind of see, whether or not, that might be scientifically true. It could be, but we'll see as we go throughout the season. Hopefully here in the 6th, something can happen. Gothberg at the plate, 1 for 2, a pop up to first and a single. As swings and fouls that one away, it'll be 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gothberg, Brinkerhoff, and Edmondson, 5, 6, and 7 coming up here for Utah Valley on opening night. Jordan Wilcox right now has put it in cruise control. The 1-2 pitch. Breaks away and off the plate for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Some action beginning to go down in the Portland bullpen right now. And Wilcox is up over 80 pitches. He's about 84 pitches so far here in this one. So he's getting close, especially early on in the season. You have to kind of wonder how big the pitch counts are. That's a bouncing ball in the hole, backhanded. Fielded cleanly. The long throw is going to be in time to get Gothberg for the first out of the inning. Forgione made a good throw, and the only question was Sapp over at first base going to be able to backhand it and pick it out of the dirt, and he was able to for the first out of the inning, and that will bring up Craig Brinkerhoff. Brinkerhoff has an RBI single and also popped out to second back in the 3rd inning. Ryan Edmondson in the on-deck circle for Utah Valley. Pitch on its way. Breaking ball. That one swung out and hit out to left field. Coming on strong. It's going to fall right in front of Hawken out in left field for a base hit. So nice job for Craig Brinkerhoff. His 2nd hit of the ball game. And now we'll bring up Ryan Edmondson. Edmondson has gone down on strikes and then also flown out to right in the ball game. Edmondson came in the other night against BYU and then gets the start tonight. We've also seen a lot of Justin Erlinson out in right field throughout the season. 1 out, and the first pitch on the way to Edmondson is in there for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Brinkerhoff being held on by Sapp over at first. Brinkerhoff on the season 1 for 1 in base stealing attempts. The 0-1 pitch, he acts like he's going there, and Edmondson fouls it back, and it'll be 0-2. The inning should continue. Jake Atkinson, the catcher, awaits on deck. 7-1 Portland on top. It begins to cool off tonight here at Brent Brown Ballpark. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Runner gets his lead. Brinkerhoff at first. The pitch is going to be swung on, grounded right back up the middle. Backhanded by second. The relay to Forgione, who then relays it over to first. The throw to first came a little bit late, and Edmondson able to beat it out for the fielder's choice. But with 2 down, that's going to bring up Jake Atkinson. Brinkerhoff retired, though, on a great backhanded play. Great backhanded play there by the second baseman, Farley. Going to his left, he had to field it cleanly and then just kind of flip it underhand over to Forgione, and Forgione just couldn't make the turn. Atkinson swings first pitch, hits one pretty well to center. Whalen going back on the warning track, reaches up in front of the wall and makes the play, and the 6th inning comes to an end. So Utah Valley gets the 1 hit from Craig Brinkerhoff, but then they strand 1 runner in the inning. We head to the 7th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark. Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the 7th inning, Logan Hold will continue his work right now in relief of Jackson Kofer. And Logan Hold right now, 4 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts on the day, as Logan Hold will face 2, 3, and 4. Eric Sapp will stand in and lead it off. Sapp has gotten a single, been hit by a pitch, and also lined out to Spencer Gothberg. Shift on here for Sapp as Trevor Howell will move into the hole. Sapp pops up the bunt. Atkinson going to give it a look, dives, and couldn't come up with it. Atkinson started sprinting out from behind home plate and just kind of dove and just tried to come up with it any way that he could, and the ball goes foul. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Eric Sapp. So Trevor Howell playing over towards the hole. Grayson Bogdan kind of fills in the middle there. He's playing almost directly behind the second base bag. And then over at first base, Spencer Gothberg is hugging the line. He's made maybe a step off first base. Jeff Aarons, he's shifted a little bit over, but playing well in on the grass, expecting a bunt here from Sapp. Sapp swings, pops this one up to left. Brinkerhoff going to have a long run from left. He'll get there and make the play for the first out of the 7th inning. So with 1 away, Caleb Whalen, the center fielder, will come to the plate. Whalen has gone down on strikes, has a sacrifice fly in the 2nd, and then flew out to Mark Kruger in his last at-bat back in the 4th inning. Boy, I tell you, you can't give enough credit to Logan Hold tonight, coming in, trailing like he did, and then he just shut the door down on the pilot so far. That one misses off the plate with the fastball, 1 ball and no strikes to count. Hold it right around 55 pitches or so. Working from the stretch, gets the sign from Jake Atkinson behind home plate. The 1-0 pitch misses off the plate, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Whalen. Whalen wears number 6, hitting from the left side of the plate. From the right side of the plate, I mean here, as you see on your screen at home. The 2-0 pitch, breaking ball, low, just below the knees, ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes. Top of the 7th inning here, 7-1 Portland Pilots out of the West Coast Conference. First of 4 here, 3 more coming up the rest of the weekend. The 3-0 pitch right in there down the middle of the plate for a called strike, 3-1, as Whalen was taking all the way, as typically you would see. Whalen hitting 400 on the season. Three balls and a strike. The shift on now back towards the left side with Bogdan deep in the hole at short. That ball misses, 3-1, ball 4, and Logan Hold has surrendered his first walk of the ball game here in the 7th inning, and now with 1 away, that's going to bring up Cooper Hummel. Hummel with the strikeout, a ground out, and then he has a single and came around to has a single and then reached third in that at bat back in the 2nd inning before he got stranded. Runner gets his lead over at first is Caleb Whalen. Now they'll shift back here with the left-handed hitting Hummel at the plate. And here's the pitch. Hummel pops that one up foul. That will go up past the berm. No balls and a strike here on Cooper Hummel. Hummel, the junior out of Lake Oswego, Oregon. Couple of players on this team from Lake Oswego. Sophomore Jordan Horak, who will pitch, I believe, on the game Saturday night out of Lake Oswego and Lake Oswego High School. As Hummel swings through it. Here's the snap throw. That one's high. Bogdan falls, and they got him. Grayson Bogdan had to leap up in the air. He comes down and then puts the tag kind of behind his back, and they're going to say that he got Whalen on the caught stealing. For the 2nd out of the inning, that is Whalen's first time this year he's been caught. He was 4 of 4 before taking off there, and how Grayson Bogdan got that tag, I have no clue, but he was able to go up and grab the baseball and slaps the tag on. No balls and 2 strikes to count. The 0-2 pitch just misses off the plate. Is right there a good 0-2 pitch from Logan Hold, as he was able to not necessarily have to come right over the plate, but there it could just go right off it and kind of tempt Hummel into swinging, and Hummel let it go for a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. The pitch on its way. Misses low and inside, ball 2, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfield playing pretty straight away. Kruger shaded maybe a little bit more towards left center field. That wind continues to kind of swirl around. It's been pretty consistent, not too bad, just a slight breeze for the most part tonight. 2-2 pitch, swung on and rolled into the hole. Howell dives but can't come up with it. It's going to kick off his glove, and Cooper Hummel's aboard here with 2 outs here in the 7th inning, and that will continue the inning for Ryan Barr. That was just one that was pulled in the hole. That's the Pilots' 10th hit of the night. Howell did a great job of getting there, but just had that kick right off his glove and roll out into the outfield. Barr on the night has grounded out, popped out, and then had a triple back in the 2nd to right field. Then he scored on the sacrifice fly later on. That pitch swung on, line right to center field. Going back is Kruger, reaches up and makes the play, and the 7th inning is over. So Portland does get a couple of men on base. They strand 1. We're going to stand and stretch here at Brent Brown Ballpark. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning. Portland 7, Utah Valley 1. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
In the top of the 7th for the Pilots, no runs on 1 hit, with no errors and 1 left on base. Ladies and gentlemen, on your feet, it's time for the 7th inning stretch, and take me out to the ballgame.
Bottom of the 7th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark, as right now Trevor Howell's going to come up. Coming up here for Utah Valley. It will be 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Trevor Howell, Jeff Aarons, and then Grayson Bogdan coming up here. And there's maybe a time to get something going against the right-hander Jordan Wilcox. It may be right now. The right-hander ready to go. On the mound, Wilcox, the right-hander, gets the sign from Cooper Hummel. First pitch misses high with the fastball. It's 1 ball and no strikes to count. Howell has reached on an error and then lined out. Can't read my own writing in my scorebook. He lined out back to the pitcher. The 0-1 pitch misses it in there for a called strike at the knees. 0-1. As Howell swings and fouls that one back, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. So the count will move to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Trevor Howell. Howell has a ground out to short and then also a line out back to the pitcher. The 1-2 pitch right off the plate, ball 2, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here in the on Trevor Howell. Good opportunity now as Wilcox is up over 90 pitches. The 2-2 pitch about to come in, and Howell just kind of does a great job there. Pitch low and away, and Howell just reaches out and is able to make contact off the bat there. And it'll be 2 balls and 2 strikes the count here on Trevor Howell. Howell, Aarons, and Bogdan, 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Wilcox comes in. That pitch, Howell will stay alive again and foul that one off and work the count. A right-hander beginning, or probably continuing to actually work here for Portland in their bullpen just down the right field line. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Ready to go, the wind and the delivery. That pitch is going to be fouled away, and will again stay alive at 2-2. Great job right there by Howell as he's fought off 3 straight pitches to stay alive. There's looks like a left-hander beginning to throw. That's a right-hander, looks like in the UVU bullpen as well. 2-2 pitch right off the corner. They're going to appeal down to first. No, he did not go, says our first base umpire, Pancho Flores, and the count runs full 3-2. Three balls and 2 strikes the count. The wind, the delivery on its way is swung on high and popped up. Going to give it a look. It's a couple pilots, but it's going to go foul, and we'll do another 3-2 pitch. So the count runs full 3-2. Here on Howell. Howell looking to just find a way to get on the 3-2 pitch. Once again, he's going to send this one down the right field line into the pilot bullpen as the bullpen catcher has to quickly kind of scatter there. And we'll once again do the 3-2 over to Trevor Howell. The right-hander ready to go, the wind and the delivery. And Howell's going to kind of float that one up, and a leaping catch made by Forgione at short for the out. That ball was hit pretty good, but Forgione just able to get there and reaches up and backhands it at short for the first out. Here's Jeff Aarons. Aarons has struck out looking and grounded to third. Time called, and now Cooper Hummel will come out from behind home plate and go out and have a quick word with Wilcox here. Could just be buying some more time down for that right-hander who's beginning to throw a little bit harder down in the bullpen, but just what Portland wanted, especially when you're playing a long series like 4 games. It really helps if that opening night starter can go deep into the ball game to save that bullpen. First pitch to Aarons is in there for a strike at the knees, no balls and a strike. I mean, and Utah Valley's not in that bad of a position. Jackson Kofer going an inning and I believe an inning and a third. Didn't have maybe the best outing, but Logan Holt has come in and has kept it where they've only had to go 2 deep as that one's over for a called strike, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to count here on Aarons. So that really does help Eric Madsen and Dave Carter and the rest of the UVU pitching staff, because now they look at it and say, okay, we only had to use 2 pitchers so far, and that one blocked in the dirt for a ball 1-2. They're likely, I don't know how much longer Logan Holt can go. If he can go a couple of more innings, then hey, that would be great. But if you have to go maybe to a 3rd pitcher, that's a lot different than the way it might have been looking early on. Here's the pitch right on the outside corner for ball 2, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Jeff Aarons. Aarons has had a couple of really good at-bats tonight. Ended up striking out looking and grounded out, but worked the count pretty well. The freshman out of Riverton, Utah. The 2-2 pitch on its way, right on the outside corner, called strike 3, and Wilcox gets the strikeout. That is his 6th K of the night, and there's 2 away here in the 7th. With 2 outs, Grayson Bogdan's going to come to the plate. Bogdan's grounded out to short and then flew out to center and then reached on an error by Forgione in his last at-bat in the 5th inning. Bogdan hit a ground ball to short, and then Forcione made a low throw over to first. It was a hard play for Eric Sapp to pull the ball out. Breaking ball in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Forgione, the shortstop. Grayson Bogdan, the shortstop for Utah Valley. They've grounded out to each other a couple of times tonight. Breaking ball stays high. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Bottom of the 7th inning, 7-1 Portland on top of UVU on opening night. Utah Valley able to score 1 run on 4 hits. And Bogdan hits that one pretty well out into the left center field gap. It's going to hang up, and running over is going to be Whalen into the deep left center field corner to make the play. Bogdan hit a ball that was hard, but hit it to maybe the deepest part of the ballpark. No question about it, and Whalen runs it down. We head to the 8th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark. 7-1 Pilots leading your Utah Valley University Wolverines. You're watching Wolverine Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Looking for a new home? Smart and happy home buying begins at uccurelax.com. Visit our website for buying home resources and tips from our home buying experts.
Top of the 8th inning at Brent Brown Ballpark here in Orem, Utah, and right now, new pitcher for the Wolverines. So Logan Hold tonight will come to an end. They'll go to the right-hander, number 10, Jason Jordan, will come in out of the bullpen, and he'll face Cody Hawken. And the first pitch is away for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. But enough cannot be said by the job of Logan Hold tonight. Hold came in a tough spot and gave Eric Madsen 5 1/3 innings of 4-hit baseball, no runs. Hawkins swings through it and misses, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Really just gave him one of those nights where, as a coach, there's not much more you can ask of your reliever who has to come in and kind of make a spot start. 1-1 pitch right on the inside corner for a called strike, and the count moves to 1-2 on Hawken. So now they'll turn it over to Jason Jordan, a transfer out of Salt Lake Community College. Junior from Syracuse, Utah. A pitch swung on and fouled back, and we'll do another 1-2. Played his high school baseball at Syracuse High School. Syracuse just right around, just north of Salt Lake City, up kind of around the Ogden area. The 1-2 pitch swung on, fouled away. Probably about, I would say, an hour and 10, probably somewhere around an hour and 10 minutes away from Orem. On the season, Jason Jordan is making his 4th appearance. He went 3 1/3 on the game back on March 4th against Washington State. Gave up 3 runs on 7 hits. And swung out and missed, strike 3. Hawken out in front, and Jason Jordan gets the first strikeout of the ball game. Or gets his first strikeout of the ball game here in the 8th inning on the strikeout. That is the second strikeout by Cody Hawken tonight. And now that's going to bring up Kevin Farley. Farley with a couple of singles to go along with the strikeout. Ready to go. Jordan's first pitch swung on, popped up. Hit pretty well out to deep left center field. Brinkerhoff going back on the warning track, reaches up and makes the play for the second out of the inning. So Farley hit that ball pretty well out to left, just didn't quite get enough on it. And here comes Matt Kelly. Kelly, number 20, will stand in from the left side. Kelly flew out to left, singled, and then had an RBI single as well on the first pitch right on the outside corner, and it's 0-1. Kelly 2 for 3 on the night. He's made a nice defensive play as well earlier in the game for Portland. 0-1 pitch right on the inside corner, but missed a little bit, maybe high and tight for a ball, and the count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. The inning should continue. It would be for Gioni in the on-deck circle. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Time called as Kelly will take a step out of the box. Now the pitch comes in and misses low for a ball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Kelly, number 20, hitting from the left side of the plate. Jason Jordan, the right-hander, comes in, and that pitch going to be swung on, kind of looped out to short. Going back, getting under, it's Grayson Bogdan's there, and the top of the 8th inning comes to an end. 3 up and 3 down. Jason Jordan does a nice inning of work. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning for Utah Valley. Zach Willis will lead it off. It'll be Willis, Kruger, and Gothberg coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Utah Valley trails 7-1 to Portland here on WolverineGreen.com.
Support UVU scholarships by ordering a UVU license plate online at uvualumni.org/UVU plate. VASA, Utah County's premier fitness facility with 5 locations in Utah County. VASA is the workout place for Wolverine athletics. Pitching for the Pilots, number 16, Jason Lockwood.
Bottom of the 8th inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark, and the night has come to an end for the starting pitcher, Jordan Wilcox, and that might be a good sign for Utah Valley. Wilcox able to go 7 innings, allowed the 1 run, but it was not an earned run if I remember correctly. Let's give you the final line on Wilcox. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, which was not earned. He walked 1 and struck out 6 for Portland, while he will give way to number 16, the senior right-handed pitcher out of Broomfield, Colorado. It will be Jackson Lockwood to come on to face 2, 3, and 4 here for the Portland Pilots. Zach Willis swings and misses at the first pitch. Comes up empty, no balls and a strike to count. On the season here, we'll look up the numbers here on Jackson Lockwood. 0-1 pitch, and once again Willis puts the bat head out and couldn't hold up, and it's 0-2. On the season so far, Jackson Lockwood making his 4th appearance. He has made 1 start on the season. Has allowed thrown 12 innings, 18 hits, 14 runs, 4 walks, and 10 strikeouts as the 0-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. And Zach Willis down on strikes here to start the bottom of the 8th inning. The first strikeout of the game for the new pitcher, Lockwood.
Batting for the Wolverines, number 21, Mark Kruger.
So now it's going to bring up Mark Kruger. Kruger's been aboard 2 out of 3 times tonight. He's 1 for 2 officially, though, with the single, a walk, and then a strikeout. And the first pitch misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. there's a part of the lineup that's going to get a rally started here in the 8th inning. This is probably the part of the lineup I want up. 1-0 pitch. Kruger swings, puts that one right through the left side for a base hit. They had the shift on for Kruger, and he just beat the shift. Put it right where the shortstop typically would have been lined up. But Forgione in this situation was up the middle, up the hole, and right there, a base hit for Mark Kruger. His 3rd time he's been on base, 2nd hit of the night. And now that brings up Spencer Gothberg. Gothberg is popped out to first, singled, and then grounded out to short in his most recent at-bat. And now I think Gothberg's gonna, right here as we have the home plate umpire is writing something down in his, I don't know if it was his lineup card or what that was there, but I don't see any changes. Gothberg's at the plate, Kruger's over at first. Lockwood, the right-hander on the mound, first pitch to Gothberg in there for a called strike at the knees as 0-1. Gothberg trying to get that bat going for Utah Valley. Maybe a slower start to his year than Spencer would have liked. That one misses for a ball, and the count evens now 1 ball and 1 strike. Utah Valley will have the series with Minnesota next weekend before they start conference play. They'll go to Tucson, Arizona to take on the Wildcats. That pitch low for a ball, and the count moves to 2 balls and a strike. They'll play Arizona that weekend, a kind of a midweek game down in Tucson, and then they'll head up to Phoenix and they'll take on Grand Canyon to open up WAC play down there. Weekend, I believe, of the 24th of April. They'll be down there. 2-1 pitch. Gothberg grounds that one, and it's misplayed at third by Kelly. That one's into left field. Kruger into second. Kind of the ball is bobbled again out in left field, but everybody will just move up to 1 base. And right there, runners on at first and second. We'll see how they're going to rule that. I would imagine that's probably going to be an E5. And now Craig Brinkerhoff will come to the plate. Brinkerhoff has had some tough at-bats. Just hasn't been able to get those going for hits quite yet. That will be an error against the Pilots, and I would imagine that's going to be an error against Kelly. So here's Craig Brinkerhoff. A couple of hits tonight for the Wolverines, a pair of singles. Also had a pop out to second. The right-hander comes home. Brinkerhoff took a big cut and missed. No balls and a strike. I think Brinkerhoff was trying to put that one into the fountains past left field. Well, the fountains are drained right now because we're still getting used to ending winter time here in Utah. But give them a few more weeks and those fountains will be back full of water. No balls and 1 strike to count. Brinkerhoff's going to chop that one deep in the hole. Kelly's going to try to hit the tag. They're going to say he did, and a missed throw past the first baseman. So moving up, they're going to wave Gothberg around third. He's going to try to score the relay and on a hop, not in time. Brinkerhoff's going to try to get to third, and he's going to be nailed. Got him at third. And so right there, you get 2 men retired at third. Brinkerhoff kind of stalled halfway in between second and third, and that's really what happened. So to kind of let you an idea, we have a ground ball to third, and that is how right there Mark Kruger's retired. Spencer Gothberg comes around to score for the Wolverines. Mark Kruger reaches on the air and then goes around to third, and then he's retired at third base. So there's 2 outs in there. 1 run does come in. We head to the 9th. It's 7-2 Portland. You're watching Utah Valley Baseball on WolverineGreen.com. Top of the ninth inning here at Brent Brown Ballpark as Jason Jordan begins his second inning of work, and the first pitch in there for a called strike to Michael Forgione. Forgione has reached on an error, grounded out, and then grounded out twice actually, once to Gothberg, once to Bogdan. 0-1 pitch on its way, and that one in there for a called strike, and it's quickly 0-2. It's going to be 9-1-2 here. It's going to be Forgione, Rosen, and Sapp coming up for the Pilots, who would like to add maybe a run or two of insurance. Jason Jordan's 0-2 pitch misses off the plate for a ball, and it's 1-2. Of course, right now, Utah Valley going to try to keep them off the scoreboard and get up in the bottom of the ninth inning. Edmondson, Atkinson, and Howell, 6, 7, and 8, due up in the ninth. A 1-2 pitch. That one's going to be swung on and driven out into the gap. Kruger's going to have to go to the deepest part of the park to get that. Forgione's going to be rounding second base. He's going to take a hard cut, but he's going to lose the batting helmet as he heads back to second base. And Michael Forgione's on with a leadoff double here in the inning for Portland. Not the way you wanted to start it here if you're Jason Jordan. So now back to the top of the lineup. Here comes Jason Rosen. Rosen has struck out, has flown out, has a 2 RBI double back in the second, and also grounded out to second as well. Rosen back in his first at-bat, saw the first pitch from Jackson Kofer and hit it right to Trevor Howell. Jason Jordan, now he's going to square around and show bunt. Jordan delivers, that one misses away for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Gothberg came charging hard. Aarons made the immediate step back to the bag. This is a Portland team that has really good speed, especially on the base paths. To keep that in mind as we go throughout here. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Runners get their lead. Runner gets his lead on at second base. Bunt laid down right back there. It's going to be quickly fielded. The throw to third is going to be in time, and they're going to get the base runner there. Great throw by Jake Atkinson as he had plenty of time to throw down to Aarons at third, and they nail him for the first out of the inning. So a fielder's choice as Rosen reaches. And now it's going to bring up Eric Sapp. Sapp has singled, been hit by a pitch, lined out, and has flown out in his last at-bat here. Portland looking to try to take game 1 of 2. First pitch on its way, breaking ball for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Sapp. Running over at first base right now is Jason Rosen. Have to respect his speed. Gothberg will hold him on. Pickoff move, and back safely is going to be Rosen underneath the tag. 1 ball and no strikes to count here on Sapp. Game 2 of this series. Ready to go. Game 2 of this series tomorrow. That one right on the outside corner for a called strike, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Sapp hitting from the left side of the plate. Pretty close to a double play depth up the middle with Howell and Bogdan. A little bit more shaded toward the holes there. Pickoff move, diving back is Rosen once again. Jason Jordan, a very quick move over to first as well. Howell, the runner on it. Howell, the second baseman, playing deep in that hole. There's a ball hit. Pickoff move again. Rosen back and barely got underneath the tag. I think Spencer Gothberg thought he had him. Gothberg quickly kind of came up before throwing that baseball back. And I tell you, Rosen's very lucky because he barely got back. On deck is Caleb Whalen. You would really like the inning to end before Whalen would have any opportunity here in the 9th inning. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Jordan from the stretch. Kicks and delivers. That pitch swung on and hit out into the gap. Edmondson and Kruger, neither will get there. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Rosen's going to make the turnaround third. He will score, and it's going to be 8-2 Portland. Going for third, the throw in on a hop. Aarons didn't get the tag down, and safe at third is Sapp with the triple. And a bang-bang play at third, but it's 8-2 Pilots. And I tell you, and that's just a ball hit out deep into the gap. It looks like it's like Rosen's came up a little hurt there at the end of that play. It's being attended to, and he's going to come off with some help from it looks like the athletic trainer. Looks like he's having a hard time putting some weight there on the knee. I'm not sure if he maybe pulled something, or I'm not sure what happened, because he was coming around the bases just fine. It looks like all of a sudden when he got home that something happened. He'll be helped off the field there he'll be walking off under his own power, but he'll have, a couple of people right with him. Caleb Whalen will come to the plate here. Infield coming in here for Utah Valley. Everybody playing in at the grass. Whalen at the plate with one away after the RBI triple. First pitch popped up. This one's going to be into the outfield. Getting back on the base path is Sapp. Edmondson's going to make the play. Here comes the relay throw. In on a hop, and they didn't get him. They're going to say Sapp hit the outside corner of the bag before the tag came down, and Portland will add another run here in the ninth. Another bang-bang play right there, but credit Whalen with his second RBI of the night on the sacrifice fly for the second out. And with 2 outs, Cooper Hummel will come to the plate. Hummel's grounded out, has singled twice actually on the night, and then takes the first pitch away for a ball, 1 ball, and no strikes. Yeah, Hummel had the RBI single in the second, singled in the 7th. That shift once again on Trevor Howell deep in the hole, the 1-0 pitch. That one's swung on, hit well. Edmondson going back to the warning track, to the wall, goes back up, leaps, and that ball's gone. A home run for Cooper Hummel, and he will touch them all here in the ninth. It's 10-2 Portland after Hummel hits his home run here in the ninth. That is Hummel's first of the year, 12th RBI. And that one was touch 'em all. That's 10-3 Portland. And so here comes Ryan Barr. Barr will come to the plate right here. Barr on the day has a triple and to go along with 3 flyouts. First pitch, a strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Edmondson, Atkinson, and Howell due up in the bottom of the ninth. Utah Valley's going to have some work to do. 0-1 pitch right on the outside corner, and it's no balls and 2 strikes to count here on, that's Barr. No balls and 2 strikes, the kick and the delivery on its way. That one misses off the plate, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Barr. In the on-deck circle is Cody Hawken. If the inning should continue for Portland. The Pilots 10 runs tonight on 13 hits. The 1-2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. Jason Jordan gets the strikeout to end the 9th inning, but the Pilots do some more damage. They add 3 runs, including a home run, a solo shot by Cooper Hummel. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 10-2 Portland. The Wolverines have some work to do. We'll see if they can chip back in this one. They need 8 to tie and 9 to win. We'll find out if they can do it after the break. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Because it's now time for the Rally Cap photo contest. Take a picture wearing your Rally Cap and post it to social media using the hashtag #OneTeamAllGreen to be entered to win Classic Frosties courtesy of Wendy's. The best and most creative photos will win, so start snapping pics. Hey Wolverine fans, UVU Baseball will return to Brent Brown Ballpark
Bottom of the ninth inning here at Utah Valley University. The Wolverines have some work to do, and they're going to start off the inning with Paul Estrada, number 9, will come in to pinch hit. It will be Estrada for Edmondson here to lead it off. Lockwood kicks and delivers a first pitch, and that's low and inside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to count. So Estrada will come in here. Try to see if he can't get something going here. One of the new additions here for Utah Valley this year. Estrada's been a big help. That pitch misses down for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes to count. Estrada on the year for Utah Valley, hitting .257. He is 9 for his first 35. That pitch low for a ball, and it count moves to 3 balls and no strikes. The count here on Estrada. The 3-0 pitch, that one in there at the knees for a called strike, and it's 3-1 the count here on Paul Estrada. And that one misses, ball 4, and Paul Estrada is on with a walk here to start the 9th inning. So Estrada reaches, and that brings up Jake Atkinson. Atkinson has flown out to center field, struck out, and then struck out looking in a previous at-bat. So Atkinson will stand in from the right side. And then Trevor Howell is remaining in the on-deck circle. Estrada won't be held on. The first pitch misses low for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Lockwood here in the 9th having a hard time finding the strike zone for Utah Valley. On deck, it's going to be, the center fielder, Whalen, playing way over in right center field. Big gap for Atkinson. 1-0 pitch, misses, ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes quickly here on Jake Atkinson. Atkinson will step out of the batter's box here. And now will step back in. The right-hander winds, comes home. 2-0 pitch, misses, ball 3. It's 3 balls and no strikes to count here on Jake Atkinson. 10-2 Portland leading Utah Valley here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 3-0 pitch in there at the knees for a called strike, and the count runs to 3 balls and 1 strike on Jake Atkinson. Game 2 set tomorrow, 6 p.m. first pitch at Brent Brown Ballpark. 3-1 pitch in there for a called strike, and the count goes full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Atkinson. The 3-2 pitch, misses inside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks given up by Lockwood, and now that brings up Trevor Howell. So Trevor Howell on the day has lined out a couple times to go along with the ground out, and now some action beginning to go down in the Portland bullpen as a visit out to the mound here by, I believe that's the assistant coach, Greg Swenson, and his first year as pitching coach for the Pilots, is heading out right now to have a quick visit on the mound. Trevor Howell will have a word with Coach Eric Madsen in the third base coaching box. Stepping into the on-deck circle is Stone Ramsey, number 33 for Utah Valley. Stepping into that on-deck circle, our home plate umpire, Jeff Clough, will head out to the mound and try to break up this conversation. Jake Atkinson was heading back over to have a quick word with, I believe, Eric Madsen, and all of a sudden he saw the umpire come out. He returns back to first base. So the conference on the mound is over, and now with nobody out, it's going to bring up Trevor Howell. And right now, with the way that Lockwood has been having a hard time finding the strike zone, I don't know if you're Trevor Howell, if you don't go up there looking to see if you can't get something, some sort of walk here or something. We'll see. Ready to go, the first pitch. In there at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to count here on Howell. Runners get their lead at first and second. 0-1 pitch on its way. In there for a called strike, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes here on Trevor Howell. Wayland in center field, shaded way over into right center. The 0-2 pitch on its way misses for a ball, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes here on Trevor Howell. Plenty of seats available for the remaining games in this series. Howell pops that one up down the line, giving it a look, coming into foul territory, getting there and making the play for the first out of the inning. Tagging and going to third on the play is Estrada, and so he'll make it to third, but the first out recorded there as Rosen ran it down. And there's one gone here in the 9th inning, and that brings up Stone Ramsey for Jeff Aarons. So Stone Ramsey, number 33, is going to come in to pinch hit. And Ramsey will hit from the left side of the plate. So we'll see here with 1 away what Stone Ramsey can do. Grayson Bogdan on deck, back to the top of the lineup. First pitch blocked in the dirt for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Good job by Cooper Hummel to keep that one in front of him there, with Atkinson running over at first. 1 ball and no strikes to count. The 1-0 on its way, inside, ball 2. Nice job, Ramsey turns out of the way. It's 2 balls and no strikes to count. 2 balls and no strikes to count here on Stone Ramsey. That pitch in there, this time fastball called strike, and it's 2-1. Estrada running over at third, running over at first base is Jake Atkinson. 2-1 pitch is going to be rolled foul, and the count runs to 2 balls and 2 strikes here on Ramsey. Runners get their leads over at first. Atkinson not being held on. Breaking ball misses, high, ball 3. Count runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right-hander still getting loose down in the Portland bullpen. The 3-2 pitch. Ramsey fouls this one away, and we'll have another 3-2 pitch. Not a great at-bat here by Stone Ramsey. Keeps fouling pitches off, keeps staying alive right here. 3-2 pitch, misses inside, gets to the backstop. Coming in to score will be Estrada, and it's 10-3 Utah Valley. 10-3 Portland right now as Utah Valley scores their 3rd run of the ball game. That one just gets right to the backstop. The one time Cooper Hummel doesn't make the stop, and that was ball 4 as well, so Ramsey gets on. So a couple of walks here as Grayson Bogdan will come to the plate. Bogdan, a fly out, reach on an error, another fly out, and a ground out. Bogdan wears number 1, time called. Runners on at first and second. 1 out here in the 9th. The pitch on its way in there for a called strike at the knees. It's no balls and a strike to count here on Grayson Bogdan. Zach Willis in the on-deck circle if the inning should continue. Portland playing back on the infield here. 0-1 pitch, blocked in the dirt. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. The pitcher has quit throwing in the Portland bullpen, so I'm not sure if that means he's ready to go or if they're just going to wait and see here what Lockwood could do. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Runners get their leads at first and second. The pitch. Bogdan swings, fouls that one back above us. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to count here on Grayson Bogdan. 6 p.m. start tomorrow night, 6 p.m. start on Saturday, and then a noon first pitch on Sunday. 1-2 pitch coming in. Bogdan swings and hits that one high into the evening sky. coming over. Whalen, he is there. He'll make the catch for the second out of the inning. And now Utah Valley down to their final out. So Zach Willis will come to the plate here with 2 down at the bottom of the ninth. Utah Valley trailing this one 10-3 as Zach Willis will come to the plate. He's reached on an error, struck out twice, and flown out to center. His other at bat tonight. Runners get their lead on the base paths here. First pitch in there called strike, and it's no balls and a strike here on Zach Willis. Mark Kruger in the on-deck circle for Utah Valley if the inning should continue. Trying to find some way just to extend it to each individual batter at this point. 0-1 pitch on its way up. Willis swings and fouls that one back, and it's no balls and 2 strikes the count here on Willis. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Runners get their leads. It's Stone Ramsey at first, Jake Atkinson at second. Lockwood set, comes home, and Willis hits this one out to right. Rosen gets over there, gets under it, makes the play, and the ball game is over. The Portland Pilots have taken game 1 of this 3-game series. Utah Valley able to score 1 here in the 9th, but they will still fall 10-3. We're going to take a break here, or take a pause, and we'll come back. We'll wrap this one up. We'll get the final numbers on this one. But tonight, Utah Valley falls in this one, the opening game of a 4-game series, 10-3 to the Portland Pilots. You're watching Utah Valley University Baseball on WolverineGreen.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's final score, Portland 10, Wolverines 2. Join the Wolverines at Brett Brown Ballpark this Friday as our Wolverines host Portland in the second game of this series.
Here tonight at Brent Brown Ballpark, the Utah Valley Wolverines fall in this one 10-3 to the Portland Pilots. One of those situations where it really looked promising early on. Utah Valley actually scoring first in this ball game back in the bottom of the first inning. The Wolverines score in the first, had an opportunity maybe to get 1 or 2 more, but they left a man or 2 on base back in that first inning. But then really the Portland offense all came at once. Back in that second inning, a 7 spot really kind of ended this ball game for Portland, as it was a 7-run second inning for the Portland Pilots that just made a big difference in this one. Jackson Kofer only going an inning and a third tonight for Utah Valley. But you have to really take a look at Logan Hold and the job that Logan did comes in out of that bullpen. Men on base. Portland had already put up 6 runs. He comes in, he just kind of shuts the door down, so to speak, on the Portland Pilot offense. I mean, Portland got a run or 2 more. Got, I think, maybe one more in when Hold was pitching. It didn't go against Logan Hold. But when you take a look at that opportunity that Logan Hold just shut the door down on Portland and really gave Utah Valley, at that point, you have to remember, it's the second inning and it's 7-1 Portland. The Pilots, I mean, that gave Utah Valley plenty of time to kind of chip back in it slowly but surely. But Jordan Wilcox would have a complete different answer. Jordan Wilcox would pitch great all night long for the Portland Pilots, gave the Pilots 7 innings tonight of, I believe, just 1-run baseball, and I think that made a huge difference tonight for the Portland Pilots. Yeah, just to take a look at it, Jordan Wilcox goes 7 innings, gives 4 hits, 1 run, which was not an earned run. He walked 1, struck out 6, only threw 109 pitches. I say only because really when you take a look at how deep into the game he went, he was pretty effective throughout the night. Jackson Kofor, on the other hand, takes the loss tonight. He threw 1 2/3, 6 hits, 7 runs, only 3 of which were earned runs. There was a couple of errors back in that second inning that kind of really did kind of change the whole course of the inning. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 1, so Kofor takes the loss and falls to 1-3. Jordan Wilcox moves to 3-0 with the victory tonight. A great opportunity tonight, though. Logan Hold, just to kind of recap his night, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And the opportunity for him to really just go in there and shut the door down and also make it where Utah Valley doesn't have to go 3 or 4 pitchers deep tonight. They only had to throw 3 arms between Jackson Kofor, the starter, Logan Hold, and then Jason Jordan. Between those 3, that gives them a lot of fresh arms heading in to game 2, 3, and 4 of this series. So tonight, it's Wilcox with the win. Kofor takes the loss. Portland has 10 runs on 13 hits. The Pilots have 4 errors on the night, but those 4 errors, luckily tonight, the Pilots were fortunate. None of those come back to hurt them. Utah Valley had 3 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors. So Portland wins 10-3 over the Wolverines tonight. The Pilots move to 9-4 on the season. Utah Valley falls to 7-8. Time of the game was 2 hours and 48 minutes. Attendance was just a little bit below 600. Game 2 of this series starts tomorrow night back here at Brent Brown Ballpark. The Utah Valley University starter to be determined. We'll find out tomorrow who that starter is going to be. The Wolverines will try to see if they can even the score with the Portland Pilots. Tonight, the Wolverines fall 10-3, but tomorrow is a new day, and we'll see what the Utah Valley Wolverines can do tomorrow at 6 here on WolverineGreen.com. I'm Ryan Pickens signing off, saying good night, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow here from Brent Brown Ballpark.
This copyrighted telecast of the Western Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the WAC Digital Network.